From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show. Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen. Artie Shaw and his orchestra. For singing glee, we're the Smoothies Three. Last but not least, and with Bud Heaston. Yes, sirree, folks. It's Burns and Allen night at your house, another gay show. And here are those two delightful people, the stars of our show, George and Gracie.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, Gracie, what did you do yesterday?
I went to Catalina.
Oh, did you go alone?
Well, naturally.
Well, that's fine.
Bud, can I have my compact back? It's in your pocket.
Oh, so you were there alone?
Well, here, Gracie, which one is yours?
Oh. Finally got ourselves a romantic kid on the show.
Oh, he's a regular Casanova.
You mean Casanova?
George, when I kiss him, they're caving over.
Oh, yes, caving over.
Get it?
Yeah, this is my smart week this week.
Oh, say, George. Hey, George, would you come here a moment, please?
Oh, gladly, Bud.
Say,
gladly.
George, I'd like to work with Gracie. It looks so easy.
It does, huh? Would you like to try it?
Would I? Oh, boy. Well, how do I start?
Well, all you've got to do is walk up to Gracie and say, "How is your brother?" Then she talks for about 5 years.
All I say is, how is your brother?
Yes, but Bud, I've got a little TL for you.
Yeah?
In case you get in trouble, and there is a slight possibility.
Yeah?
Just sing Nola.
Nola?
Yeah, you know, daddly-doo, dee-doo, dee-doo.
Oh, well, then I start by saying, Gracie, how's your brother?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
I'll be standing right here. Take it nice and easy, Bud.
Yeah. Gracie?
Yeah?
Gracie, how's your brother?
Oh, the most terrible thing happened last night.
Did?
We were awakened in the middle of the night, and there was my brother sitting up in bed, and his eyes were sticking out of his head.
His eyes were sticking out of his head. Well,
Yeah.
What did you do?
What did we do? We sent for a doctor, of course.
Well, what did the doctor do?
Well, he took Ann Sheridan's picture off the wall, and we all went back to sleep again.
Gracie, where is your brother now?
Oh, he's in the East. He went to see that prize fighter, you know, the one who fights without any clothes on.
There's a prize fighter who fights without any clothes on?
Yeah, that's what my brother said in his letter. Just saw Galento fight fair.
Well, Gracie, what does your brother do for a living?
Oh, he's very wealthy.
Oh, yes.
He has 2 cars, lots of clothes, and he goes to Palm Springs for the winter and Lake Arrowhead for the summer.
Well, what does he do for a living?
Oh, he's a son-in-law.
Gracie, what did your brother do before that?
Oh, he was married before, you know. He's the one who was a knife thrower in Vaudeville, and his wife was his assistant.
Oh, he used to throw knives at his wife.
Uh-huh. But one day before he went on the stage, he had a little too much to drink.
Well, what happened?
He got married again.
Well, Gracie, your brother, he sounds like quite a character.
Oh, he is. You know, when he was a little boy, he played a trick on my father. He switched the hot and cold faucet in the bathtub.
Was your father angry?
No, but he will be when he finds out.
Gracie, is that the brother with the scar on his neck?
Oh, yes, the appendicitis scar.
Appendicitis scar? Appendicitis is way down on the side of the stomach, you
Yeah,
see.
I know, but he was so ticklish they had to
operate up here, yes, I thought so. Bud, are you happy?
No.
I thought so. Well, here are the smoothies.
Hello, Spam.
Well, it's very pretty.
Oh,
but,
beautiful.
Yes, it's really something. Smoothies, can't you say anything without swinging like that?
Surely, George. Anyone can do it, nothing to it. Spam, jam, high diddle did. Now we're jiving, so take it, kid.
Oh, stop with that. Take it.
Oh, beautiful.
See, I used to be a dancer, and every time I hear "Take It, Kid," I go right into my dance.
Oh, sure. You know, George used to dance for a living.
Did he make much money?
10 cents a dance.
I used to wear a bathing suit. I was Jansen with tears in my eyes.
Oh.
Well, never mind. Now the Smoothies are going to sing the Woodpecker song. Just a minute, Smoothies. Come in.
This is what I do for a living.
Hello, everybody. Oh, hello, Bubble.
Say, sound man, stop slamming the doors. You're going to break down the whole building. I know you're a very intellectual fella because you told me last week you went 4 years to Harvard. And if you think that being a sound man is beneath your dignity, why don't you go back to your family?
Mr. Burns, I have 2 brothers. When my older brother graduated from Harvard, the dean told him he'd become a great scientist. He later won the Nobel Prize.
I see.
When my other brother graduated from Harvard, the dean told him he'd be a great playwright. He later won the Pulitzer Prize.
That's so.
When I graduated from Harvard, the dean said that I showed more promise than both my brothers put together. That was 10 years ago. This is what I do for a living.
Say, sound man, I'm really feel sorry for you, but don't give up. After all, someday you may be like me.
George, don't discourage him.
Don't think I've got any talent, huh? Bubbles, what do you want?
Well, Gracie, you know, today is your grandfather's birthday. He's 92 years old. Yeah, I know. I got him a gift order.
You did? Mm-hmm. What is the gift?
2 lessons from Madame Lazanga.
It's 6 lessons from Madame Lazanga.
Oh, he'll never last that long.
I know your grandfather, neither will Madame Lazanga.
Well, anyway, Gracie, tonight we're giving him that surprise party. And in order to get him out of the house, I had a promise to take him down to Earl Carroll's Vanities. Well, did you take him there? No. I took him up to Mount Wilson Observatory, and he spent 2 hours looking through their giant telescope.
What about Earl Carroll's Vanities?
Well, what do you think he was looking at?
Where's the kid now?
He's downstairs in the car. Oh, well, send him up, and we'll keep him here until the party tonight. All right, goodbye.
4 years in Harvard.
Oh, quiet.
Oh, now listen, everybody. After the show, you're all invited to my grandpa's surprise party. Oh, we're going to have more fun, and there's going to be a big cake with 6 candles on it, and...
6 candles?
Uh-huh.
Your grandfather is 92 years old.
Yeah, but the cake is only 6.
Oh, I see. It's the cake's birthday, too. Smoothies, we're waiting. Well, kids, that was really a grand number.
You liked it, George? We're glad you did. But now's your chance, so take it, kid. Yes, sir.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Stop with that take it, kid. You know I can't keep my feet still. But it does bring back memories of Vaudeville. I can see my billing right now in front of the theater. George, Burns, and Gurley. Fantastic steppers. What a vehicle. Remember, Gracie, how I used to jump 4 feet in the air and click my heels?
Oh, yeah. And Variety said that was the only thing in the act that clicked.
Say, wait a minute. Burns and Gurley was the name of the dancing act. Who was Gurley?
May Robeson.
All right, Gracie. So we're all invited to your grandfather's 92nd birthday party tonight, huh?
Oh, George, please. Don't ever let my grandpa hear you say he's 92.
Why not?
Well, he goes around telling everybody he's only 90.
Gracie, remember my birthday party last year?
Oh, sure.
Remember the birthday cake?
Yeah, with 30 candles on it.
Oh, there were a few more than that.
Not on the piece I had.
Say, George,
yes.
I don't know about your age, but you certainly know how to wear clothes.
Oh, thanks.
That blue suit with that red tie certainly is a swell combination.
Oh, thanks, Bud.
Say, Bud.
What is it, Gracie?
Give George back his compact.
Oh, quiet.
Which one is yours,
Oh,
George?
quiet. Hello? Just a minute. Gracie, it's for you.
Hello? This is Gracie Allen, Stan's meatheart speaking.
Oh, meatheart instead of sweet.
Oh, hello, Bessie. How are the preparations for Grandpa's surprise party coming along? What? You burned the rice pudding? Oh, there's nothing to be worried about? You put ungantine on it?
That ought to help, yes.
Oh, what? Oh, don't worry. When Grandpa arrives, we'll keep him here. Now, I can't hear you, Bessie. Talking to the mouthpiece. What? You took the mouthpiece off the phone? Oh, you're using it as a cookie cutter for cupcakes.
Oh.
What?
Have a little trouble there.
Well, why can't you hear me? Well, hold the receiver closer to your ear. Oh, you're mashing potatoes with it.
Sort of be some party, boy.
Say, Bessie, what are you using for a centerpiece on the table? What, Swiss cheese?
Swiss cheese. That ought to make a beautiful centerpiece.
Oh, sure. She puts the flowers in the little holes.
Oh, very nice arrangement, yes.
What, Bessie? You only have a dozen doilies? Oh, that'll never be enough. I can eat that many myself.
Oh, yes. They're delicious with paper napkins.
Say, Bessie, what about the boiled duck? How's it coming along? What? You can't keep any water in the pot? Why not? Oh, the duck keeps drinking it.
You mean the duck is living?
If you call that living.
Well, let's break this up. This is serious. Well, Artie Shaw, what are you going to play tonight?
For George, we've got a new and little different arrangement of April Showers.
Oye, maestro, mejor no vamos a... No me gusta ese número, tocamos otra cosa.
Okay, Senor Lee.
Gracias.
Okay, George, I guess we'll have to play Alice Bluegown.
I see. Just because your South American guitar player, Senor Lee, who can't even speak a word of English, doesn't happen to like April Showers, you're not going to play it.
That's right.
But Artie, April Showers is a beautiful number. Oh, when April showers will come your way. They bring flowers of their glowing May.
George.
And when it's
George.
George. Oh, yeah.
George,
Yes,
is that April Showers?
Certainly.
No, I don't like it either.
You don't like it?
That's right.
Boy, I must really be lousy.
That's right.
Okay, Artie, play Alice Bluegown.
Okay, my sweet little Alice Bluegown.
Hey, Senor Lee, wait for your cue. What are you starting so soon for?
Hurry up, I got a date.
He's got a date.
George, please, this is my problem. All right, boys, ready? 1, 2,
3, 4.
Look, Senor Lee, we're doing a broadcast. It's Monday. We're on the air, and we must be finished before Friday.
Tú no te metes conmigo porque mi jefe es ese, ¿verdad?
Take it easy. Take it easy. I can't understand what you're saying.
Foreigner.
Foreigner? Look, Artie, I've got a T.O. for you. If you don't get rid of that guy, I'm going to get rid of you.
Now you're cooking with gas.
Senor Lee, I've had about enough out of you. I'm the boss of this program, and I expect to be on this show for many years.
Si caes a todos como me caes a mí con esos chistes malos, yo creo que no va a estar por tantos años.
What did he say?
don't send out your laundry.
All right, Artie. Alice Bluegown. Artie, I really loved Alice Bluegown. But the thing I enjoy most is when you pick up that clarinet. You're really swinging. You're just jiving there.
That's Shaw. When he swings it, he's right in the grave.
In the grave? Senor Lee, you mean in the groove?
Yes, senor. In the grave means I'm dead, buried, finished.
That's right.
A million guitar players of the union, and I had to wind up with this one.
Yeah, George,
What is it?
come here.
Oh, sacred.
Yes.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, I found out plenty about that Senor Lee. I had dinner with a certain party last night, and all he spoke about was Senor Lee.
Well, who did you have dinner with?
Senor Lee.
You had dinner with Senor Lee?
That's right.
Stop with that. That's right. I don't want to hear any more. That's right. I've had enough of that's right.
That's right.
Oh, quiet.
And George,
What is it?
I heard that every day Artie Shaw goes down to the drugstore and drinks a malted milk through his clarinet.
A malted milk through his clarinet?
Uh-huh.
How did that leak out?
Through the holes.
Well, that's the last straw.
4 years and a half.
Quiet. Oh, Gracie, look who's here.
Well, don't tell me it's my grandpa.
Well, I ain't a bag of flour, but I've been through the mill. Yahoo! Pick me up, Grace.
Well, he practically fainted. How do you revive him?
Well, just fan him.
Fan him with what?
With Dorothy L'Amour. Yahoo! Pick me up, Grace.
Dorothy L'Amour?
Yeah, I was out with Dorothy L'Amour, and she kissed me.
She kissed you?
Oh, yes, George. And they were very happy, the four of them.
The four of them?
Yes, Dorothy, Grandpa, and the two men who held them up.
Yeah, sticks and stones may break my bones, but she's just the one that can do it. Yeah.
Hold your hats, boys. There he goes again.
Pick me up, Grace.
Come on, Grandpa. Get up on your feet and stay there.
Mr. Burns.
Now it's the sound man. What do you want?
An old man, 92 years old, does nothing all day long but run around with Dorothy Lamour.
So what?
This is what I do for a living.
Sound man, this may surprise you, but you're not the only one on this program with a brain.
Oh, thanks, George.
You're welcome.
Grandpa, I want you to meet the cast. Now, this is Bud Houston, our announcer.
Well, hello, Grandpa.
Well, hello, buddy boy. I'm an announcer, too.
An announcer?
Yeah, an announcer to A Maiden's Prayer. Ain't that a killer?
Gracie, what does this grandpa of yours want?
Well, he'd like to be 65 and then 21 and then 65 and then 21 then
And
65
and then 21. Well, what
yes.
is that for?
Well, he wants to be old enough to get Social Security and young enough to enjoy it.
That's nice work if you can get it.
Oh, well, Grandpa, these are the smoothies.
These are the smoothies? Well, blow me down.
Hello.
Bang. Darned if they didn't. Pick me up, Grace.
Gracie,
Yeah, what is it?
I want to ask you something. What happens at home with this young George Ollis?
Oh, my grandma has a terrific time between him and the furnace.
Between your grandpa and the furnace?
Yeah, every time she watches one, the other goes out.
Well, I've had enough.
Oh, Artie, I want you to meet my grandpa. Grandpa? Grandpa, where are you? Come here.
Be with you in a minute, Grace. So long, kid.
So long, honey.
Well, here comes, love comes to Andy Harding of the Arteries. Waited for 4 days.
Grandpa, this is Artie Shaw.
Hello, Grandpa.
Hiya, Corny.
I'm corny.
That's right.
Senor Lee, if you don't stop butting in, I'll have to punch you in the nose.
Anybody show their face around here and say that, I kill him.
Well, why don't you kill me?
You call that a face?
Get out, get out.
This is what I do for a living.
Hey, sound man, you see, most of us do things that we don't want to do for a living. Take me, for instance. When I started out, I worked very hard. And after many years, I finally clicked. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was an accident.
Mr. Burns, the reason for your success is that you have something that nobody else has got.
Really?
Where did you get Miss Allen?
Well, I've got to see Elsie. Grandpa, get away from those drums. Gracie, surprise party or no surprise party? Do we have to keep him here?
Oh, George, you'll spoil the whole thing.
There's no any way that we can quiet this old guy?
Well, do what we do at home.
Well, what do you do at home?
Well, we just give him pictures of glamour stars and bathing beauties, and he sits in a rocking chair and sings.
Well, what does he sing?
Wishing will make it so.
Well, he certainly picked out a nice number.
Hey, Grandpa, give me back my clarinet.
Here you are, Artie boy.
Wait a minute, Grandpa. Take your teeth.
Gracie, will you talk to him?
Oh, yeah, Grandpa, you're going to need them for the surprise party I'm giving you tonight.
You gave away the whole thing.
Well, say, Grace, I can't make it tonight. Kind of got a date with Greta Garbo.
Greta Garbo? 92-year-old guy like you has got a date with Greta Garbo? Hello?
That's right.
That's all right. Oh, Gracie, say goodnight.
Oh, good night. Oh, George.
Yeah?
George, look at the lovely roses Ray Noble just sent me.
Ray Noble?
Uh-huh.
Oh, where are the flowers?
Oh, right here in the package of seeds.
Good night, all.
From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
Crazy people. rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen, Artie Shaw when his orchestra, the singing glee, we're the Smoothies Three. Last but not least, and with Bud Heaston.
Yes, it's Burns and Allen night at your house again. Fun and laughs with George and Gracie. And now for the stars of our show, those two spam-ambassadors of fun, George and Gracie.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Gracie.
Hello, Bud. What do you think of the hot weather we've been having?
Oh, boy, I wish I knew how to keep cool.
Oh, I know what we could do, Bud. We can go down to the beach and sit in the sand, and I'll hold your hand, and you can hug me, and I can kiss you, and then
Gracie,
you can
will that cool us off?
No, but we may as well enjoy the heat, if you know what I mean.
I think he knows what you mean, and Gracie, quiet about the heat. The tourists might be listening.
Tourist? What's a tourist?
What's a tourist?
Yeah.
Look, Gracie, let's say you leave the studio, you cross Hollywood and Vine, you get on a bus.
Oh, it's impossible.
What's impossible?
To cross Hollywood and Vine.
All right, forget Hollywood and Vine. You get on a train in Los Angeles and you travel and travel and travel and travel. What are you?
Still in Los Angeles.
Well, I'll try to explain what a tourist is again. I'm in the Brown Derby eating.
And what are you eating?
A chicken sandwich.
White meat or dark meat?
What's the difference?
$3.20.
Well, then I come out of the Brown Derby. There are people waiting out there with paper and pencils.
Are they waiting for you?
Yes. What are they?
Creditors.
It's still very warm, and as a matter of fact, it's getting hotter, Bud.
Well, George, if you're that warm, why don't you do what my brother does?
What does he do?
Well, he knows how to keep cool.
He does?
Yeah, every morning he spends 2 hours under a cold shower.
Well, how does he stand that?
He doesn't turn the water on.
Which brother is that?
Well, that's the one who's smarter than I am.
Oh, the half-wit, the tall one.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
The good-looking kid.
Yeah.
The golfer.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one who got his head caught in the Frigidaire.
His head got caught in the Frigidaire?
Well, yeah, you see, he didn't believe the light went out when you closed the door.
Well, of course, that's a nice way to keep cool.
No, I don't think so. That's a crazy way.
Bet it is.
The best thing to do is what my daddy thought of yesterday.
What's that?
Well, he attached an electric fan to his nose.
Attached an electric fan to his nose?
Yeah.
Where's your daddy now?
Flying over Kansas City.
I really think I was better off with the tourists.
What's a tourist?
Quiet. Come in.
4 years in Harvard, and all I do is open and close doors.
Sound man, stop grumbling and open the door.
I'll do it, but my heart isn't in it.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Burns, you've got a wonderful program, and I think you're great. And I've come all the way from New York to Los Angeles to get your autograph.
Well, you're just in time, mister. I've been trying to explain to Gracie what a tourist is. Now, if you came all the way from New York to Los Angeles and you want my autograph, what are you?
Your brother Willie, remember?
Well, just for that, go back to the hotel and take my suit off. Quickly. Sound man, these door slams that you give out each week are going to knock down the building.
Mr. Burns, Bing Crosby says, boo-boo-boo-boo. For that, he gets $10,000. Ted Lewis is everybody happy, $12,000. Jack Benny, terrific vocabulary. Instead of saying hello again, jello again, $20,000. I have translated into English the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics discovered on the tomb of King Herod III, covering the period from the Second Dynasty through the Peloponnesian Wars. And this is what I do for a living.
Well, all right. Right after the broadcast, I'll give you a gold star and a Tootsie Roll. And now the Smoothies, Babs, Charlie, and Little are going to sing a very...
Señor Burns, con permiso, quiero decir una cosa, por favor.
A guitar player. Senor Lee, what is it now?
There's one member in the orchestra who sings much better than the Smoothies. He is the greatest singer in the country, but he is too modest to tell you.
Who was that?
Me.
You're the greatest singer in the country?
You really think so?
So the Smoothies will sing...
Hey, George, I finally got it. Now, how could I have been so stupid? I know what a tourist is.
Well, good. What is a tourist?
Your brother Willie.
Gracie, a tourist is a person who travels from place to place and never stops.
Oh, Eleanor Roosevelt.
You guessed it. And now the Smoothies will sing...
¿Qué pasó? ¿No me vas a dejar cantar o qué? ¿Qué va a pasar?
Okay, Senor Lee, as long as you're such a good singer, come up here. I'd like to hear you sing. Introduction, Artie.
Not in the mood.
Well, he's not in the mood. Well, never mind. Artie, what are you going to play tonight?
A little French number entitled Le Pleuvoir d'Avril.
What does that mean in English?
April showers.
Why did you say it in French?
Well, Senor Lee doesn't like the number, and he doesn't understand French.
Why doesn't Senor Lee like April showers? Why, it's a beautiful number. When April showers will come your way home.
What's the matter?
Well, Artie, I suppose if Senor Lee doesn't like it, you'll have to play something else.
Yep, tonight I'm going to play Temptation.
Fine. Why he puts up with that Senor Lee is more than I can understand.
Say, George, you just don't understand the Latin people, that's all.
But you do, huh?
Well, I was in South America. I know exactly how they live. All night long, they sit under the moon and make love. And
They sit under the moon all night and make love?
Yeah.
What do they do in the daytime?
Well, they sit under the sun and cool off.
Artie, Temptation, please. That was Temptation by the #1 band of the nation. It's pretty cute. And really, Artie, I've never heard you play that number. I've never heard you play that number so well before. That was right.
Well, it's mighty nice of you to say that, George.
I really mean it, Artie.
Would you care to smoke a cigar with me?
Oh, I'd love to.
All right, I'll smoke it down here, and then you can have it.
Well, thanks, kid.
Say, George, while Artie Shaw was doing his number, our costumes arrived for the kiddie party.
Oh, Gracie, are you and George going to a kiddie party tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Look, Gracie, I'll go to the Coconut Grove because I love it. And I love Eddie Duchin's music. But I'm not getting into that Lord Fauntleroy suit. There's some fun I had at the last kiddie party. I spent 10 minutes bobbing for apples.
And 20 minutes bobbing for your teeth.
That was a cute sight. All those grown-up movie stars with lollipops in their mouths.
Well, all of them didn't have lollipops.
No?
Joey Brown had a chocolate-covered shovel.
Kiddie parties. It's not bad enough that you have to go dressed up like 5-year-old rollicking Rollo. You've got to entertain with the tiny tot stuff. After all, I'm not exactly 5 years old.
You're not exactly 10.
Certainly.
Not exactly 20.
That's right.
Not exactly 40.
Quiet.
I can go on like this for years.
But don't. Just don't. But how old do I look to you?
Well, roughly, George, your face looks about 30.
There you are, Gracie.
But smooth it out and it looks at least 60.
There you are, George.
Not going to that kiddie party. They want you to entertain. What are you going to do, Gracie?
Oh, I know a very cute story. It goes like this. Story. Once there was a nice little boy, and he saw a little angleworm who had nobody to play with. And the nice little boy felt so sorry for the little angleworm that he took out his penknife and he cut the little angleworm in half, and then he said, "Now, little angleworm will have somebody to play with." That's my story.
That's very cute, but you see, I don't know any stories.
George, here's a little poem you can tell. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown. See Dr. Cowan, credit dentist.
I'm still not performing.
Well, George, why don't you do a little poem like this?
I don't want to hear it.
Good. I always use a dial phone. With me, it never fails. I never get my number, but it manicures my nails.
Gracie, I'm still not performing.
Mr. Burns, if you'll allow a sound man.
Allow it.
Here is a simple little poem which I recited when I was 6 years old. Poem. Species aromatic Rosa bacilli are red. Species genus Viola septuri are blue. C2H4016 is a split carbohydrate. And so are you.
Oh, that's beautiful. How did you do that,
You think I ought to do that
I
one?
love that one.
Still not performing.
Senor Burns, I have a children's poem.
Well, keep it.
I'm a little wildflower, growing wilder every hour. Nobody tries to cultivate me. Caramba, do I smell.
Boys, look, I've got a TL for you. Forget the poems, and I'm not going.
Oh, but I've got a beautiful costume for you. Little short pants and a busted brown collar and a big bow and a little sailor hat. Oh, you look awfully cute.
Dapper, huh?
No, you're too old to wear dapper.
Oh, well, And now the Smoothies will sing Meet the Sun Halfway.
I think maybe I sing now.
Well, I think maybe I let you, and I hope you're in the mood. Introduction, Artie.
I saw all the costumes for the kiddie party tonight, and Georgie Jessel's wife's costume is the prettiest.
It is, huh?
Yes, oh, it's very cute. She's going to wear little bobby socks and a little baby bonnet and a little white play dress and a blue sash on it.
Probably be very happy in a thing like that.
Well, she should be. It was her wedding gown.
Well, it's too bad, Gracie. I won't be able to see the dress.
Why?
We won't get there until after 9, and Mrs. Jessel will be home before that.
Oh, doctor's orders?
No, the curfew law.
Curfew law?
Yes.
What's that?
It's a law that's just been passed in California. It's for the protection of juveniles.
Who are they?
Before you were 18, what were you?
17.
According to the new curfew law, if you're under 18 and you're out after 9 o'clock, an officer comes up and serves you with a writ.
Just me?
No. If your brother is out, the officer comes up and serves him with a writ. And if his brother is out, he serves him with a writ. Now, do you know what it is?
Yeah, the Ritz brothers.
The only one who can explain a law like this to you, Gracie, is a jurist. But you don't even know what a jurist is.
I do, too.
What's a jurist?
You cross Hollywood and Vine, you get in a bus, and you think it's your brother Willie. It turns out to be Eleanor Roosevelt.
Look, curfew is a thing that's impossible to explain to an idiot.
Mr. Burns, I think I can explain it to you.
Well, thanks, Soundman. Thanks, oodles. I'll admit I haven't had a college education, so no matter what you're explaining, you're wasting your time because I can't understand it. So go back to your door.
Peasant.
That's what I do for a living. How did I get mixed up in a thing like this?
No, none of this would have happened if you put on your kiddie costume in the first place.
All right, I'll go off stage and put it on right now. And I'll leave it to the rest of the cast and see if it doesn't look silly.
All right, well, come right back.
Yes, I'll be right back.
Oh, Bud, I wish you were going to the party.
Yeah, so do I.
It's going to be a swell party. Mickey Rooney is going to bring Ann Sheridan and Charles Boyer.
That's a funny thing. If Mickey Rooney is bringing Ann Sheridan with that new curfew law, Mickey will have to be home by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, or else he'll be arrested for arson.
Arson? Gracie, arson means burned up.
Well, if you had to leave Ann Sheridan at 9 o'clock, you'd be burned up, too.
Well, it sure is tough on these kids with these curfew officers, but, boy, I'd give anything to go to the party.
Well, I've just got 2 tickets for the kiddie party. One is George's and one is mine. Oh, wait a minute. George is getting dressed up as a baby. We can phone the curfew officer. He'll take George home and put him to bed, and you and I can go to the party.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, why didn't I think of that? Oh, dear. Who knows the number of the curfew officer?
Well, I think it's a rotten trick you're playing on as nice a fellow as George. The number is Gladstone 1131.
Oh.
Well, I'll go and call him.
But now, don't forget, everybody, when George comes in, tell him how nice and young he looks.
Okay.
Uh-oh, here he comes.
Here I am. Dad.
Oh, how are you, little boy? Where's your mama? See, George, that's how young you look. I didn't know you.
Oh, stop. Artie, how do you like me in my kitty costume? When I walked in, did you notice my rattle?
Yeah, you ought to get your joints oiled.
Just for that, I'll take my Shirley Temple doll and fracture your skull.
That's a nice bow you've got on your hat, George.
Thanks.
It's a nice bow. It's a nice bow you have in your legs.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, but you shouldn't say things like that about George.
Thanks, Gracie.
Legs like his are few and far between.
Pardon me, but I got a call from a Mr. Heaston. Oh, so I guess you're the little girl, or boy. What a cute little boy, and what a cute outfit. How old are you?
Uggle, glubble, glubble.
My, you look older than that.
All right, so I'm uggle, glubble, glubble and a half.
A little 5-year-old boy smoking cigars?
Yes, and I dink, too.
What?
I dink.
Oh, George, you can speak plainer than that.
Well, come along with me, my little man.
I can't. I gotta go to a party at the Coconut Dove.
I'm the curfew officer.
We're gonna have a lot... Wait a minute, brother. I happen to be a very old man. Mister, did you ever see a 5-year-old with a face like mine?
Yeah, I came in second yesterday at Hollywood Park.
I don't know who framed this, but all I know is that I'm not going to any kiddie party. Here, Gracie, you can have the ticket.
Oh, thanks. Oh, come on, curfew officer. We're going to a party.
Well, Gracie, are you going out with that curfew officer? What about me?
Well, you can go with him next week.
I'll go to the party, Miss Allen, but I'll have to take you home by 9 o'clock.
Oh, I'm over 18.
But I'm not.
Well, that's fine.
Bueno, entonces, ¿qué pasó? ¿Siempre voy a cantar o no?
Artie, what does the senor want now?
Now he's in the mood to sing.
Well, all right, come down here and sing.
What is the audience in the mood?
Audience, are you in the mood?
They're not in the mood.
Well, all right, senor. Don't sing and don't bother me and don't come back next week.
Senor Burns, that did it.
Oh, you're going to quit?
No, now I'm in the mood.
Okay. Gracie, say goodnight.
Oh, good night. Oh, say, George, Senor Lee's song made me feel so romantic. I feel like kissing somebody.
Well, how about kissing me?
Well, pucker up your lips.
Well, they're puckered. Well?
Not in the mood.
Good night.
Listen in again next Monday night, same time, same station, for George Burns and Gracie Allen with Artie Shaw and his orchestra and the Smoothies. From Hollywood, we present
Crazy People.
George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Bam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen. Artie Shaw and his orchestra. For singing glee, we're the Smoothies three. Last but not least, with Bud Heaston.
Time now to present the stars of our show, and here they are, those two spam-happy people, George and Gracie.
Thank you very much.
Now, don't forget, Bub, what you promised before the broadcast. It's a date tonight.
You and Bud have a date?
Yeah.
Well, yes, George. Gracie wants me to take her to the Hollywood Bowl.
This might be a surprise to you, but there's nothing going on at the Hollywood Bowl tonight.
Well, there will be when we get there, if you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean, but before you get yourself involved in this little romance, Bud, it would be sort of a nice idea to meet Gracie's family.
Oh, are they a sociable lot?
Congenial. I met her brother, the dentist, and I said hello, and he nicely pulled out 14 of my teeth.
From which pocket?
The inside pocket, some family.
Oh, yeah, but you should see my uncle's family. 17 in one room, and yesterday...
17 people in one room?
Yes.
How do they live?
They take in boarders.
Guess that's better than walking around in the hot sun.
By the way, George, how did you and Gracie enjoy the kiddie party you went to last week, given in honor of baby Sandy?
It was terrific. All the grown-ups got into kiddie costumes, and all night long, baby Sandy sat in the corner.
Well, George, I saw what she wore. She sat in three corners.
Well, that covers that. Oh.
For me?
Oh, thanks. Some party. Edward G. Robinson and Jimmy Cagney skipping rope all night.
Oh, yeah. Boy, was Skitty and us angry.
Hey, what was he angry about?
He was the rope.
Well, that's a new twist.
Say, George.
Oh, say, you have to wait. I'm a scream tonight. What?
Come here.
Oh, secret, huh?
Yes. You know that every time Jimmy Cagney gets a new girl, he just can't seem to hold on to her.
I see. Incompatibility?
No, O'Brien.
Gracie, stop whispering, and I'm not going to any more of these boring kiddie parties.
Well, what about the dart game? Now, wasn't that a lot of fun?
Yeah, whoever would hit the bullseye got to kiss Dorothy L'Amour. I not only didn't hit the bullseye, I missed the target altogether.
Well, George, instead of a dart, you should have used a can of Spam.
Spam?
You know, cold or hot, Spam hits the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, George, Dorothy L'Amour was there?
That's right, Bud.
You know, I went out with her once.
Really?
Yeah. I took her out one night, and we went home and sat in the parlor, and I read poetry to her, and all of a sudden she turned off the light.
Well, what happened?
I turned it back on. I can't read in the dark.
I see. You know, there's one thing I can't understand, Bud. At the party, the master of ceremonies introduced everybody to do something. And when it got to me, he forgot my name.
Don't worry about it, Harry.
Harry? My name happens to be George.
Oh, pardon me? I keep thinking it's Tuesday.
Well, it might interest you to know that at the party, I had an offer to make a picture from a gentleman named Joe Pasternak.
Joe Pasternak? Who's that?
Who's that?
Yes.
He only happens to be the producer who's responsible for the success of Deanna Durbin and Gloria Jean. He started in the picture business with shorts, and in no time he came through.
Wore out the shorts, huh?
Yeah, slid down the banisters. Well, anyway, Mr. Pasternak is looking for a comedian for his next picture, and he's coming up here to see me.
Oh, you going to help him find one?
Remember me, George Burns, comedian. Last week the audience screamed when I wore those funny pants. Didn't I have them laying in the aisles?
Yeah, well, you should have worn suspenders.
Artie Shaw, you were here last week. How were those laughs?
Great, George.
About 106, weren't they?
107.
107, huh?
Yeah, you got one, too.
Oh, yeah, well, leave it to the boys. Boys, didn't I get a lot of laughs last week? Well, fellas, didn't I? Oh, sure. Thanks, boys.
Sí, cómo no. Tú eres muy chistoso. Yo me muero de risa cada vez que dices un chiste.
Guitar player, Senor Lee, what is it?
Senor Burns, to me, you are a very funny man.
Well, thanks.
When you tell jokes, you tickle me punk.
You tickle me, punk? That's wrong.
Perdóname. You tickle me, punk.
Yeah.
That's better, yes. Artie, what are you going to play tonight?
George, come here.
Oh, a secret, huh?
Yeah, I've got a special arrangement of April showers.
Why are you whispering?
Well, Senor Lee, my guitar player, doesn't like that number, and he's hard of hearing.
Senor Lee is hard of hearing?
That's right.
Why, that's a beautiful number. Oh, when April showers fall.
Hey, George, you might turn out to be another Nelson Eddy.
Well, come away on. Nelson Eddy. Take away his hair, and what have you got?
Jack Benny.
Oh, quiet. Leave it to Artie Shaw. He happens to be a great musician. What do you think of my voice, Artie?
Well, personally, George, I think you picked the wrong kind of numbers.
You do?
Yeah, you should sing Home on the Range.
Home on the Range?
Yeah, and then Turn on the Gas.
You'll have to go a long way to find a better singer than I am.
From there to here is far?
You're a better singer than I am?
You really think so?
I don't believe you can sing at all.
I will do a number for you now that will kill you to pieces.
Well, all right. Kill me to pieces. Let's hear it.
When April showers fall.
Oh, that's enough. That's enough. That was Sweet Sue, played by Artie Shaw and his orchestra. And, Artie, you're not only a swell musician, but you're a nice guy.
Thanks, George, and you're a nice guy.
And you're easy to get along with.
You're easy to get along with, too.
And, confidentially, you've got a lot of talent.
Thanks, George.
Now listen, everybody. When Mr. Pasternak gets here, remember I run the show. I get the idea for the show, I write it, direct it, produce it, and act in it. Get it?
Okay, Austin.
Awesome. My name is George.
I keep thinking it's Tuesday.
You can stop with that, too. You don't even know who Orson Welles is.
I do, too. He's making a picture for 21st Century Fox.
21st Century Fox? It's 20th Century Fox.
Well, by the time he finishes the picture, it'll
be 21st Century Fox. Well, anyway, he's a big producer, and when he... Just a minute. Hello? Who? Gracie, it's for you.
Hello? Gracie Allen Spam's Meatheart speaking.
Spam's Meatheart? That's cute.
Who? Who, Bessie? Oh, that's too bad. Goodbye.
Well, that's a smart phone conversation.
Well, George, that was my sister Bessie. You know, she's the one who's married to an aviator. He's a stunt flyer, you know.
A stunt flyer?
Yes. He went up in the air last week, and he looped the loop 50 times, and when he was going into it for the 51st time, he saw something coming toward him that frightened him to death.
What'd he say?
His aeroplane.
His aeroplane?
He dropped 20,000 feet.
Oh, didn't he have a parachute?
Sure. He pulled the string for 20 minutes.
And, what happened?
He unraveled his underwear.
He unraveled his underwear. I wonder what's keeping that producer. Let me see. When he comes, what can I do to impress him? First, I'll get the orchestra to give me a terrific fanfare. Then I can do those Bob Hope type of jokes.
Senor Burns, why don't you tell a griddle?
A griddle?
I know some very funny griddles.
Well, let's hear the funny griddle.
This is a very hard one to guess. Griddle. What's the difference between?
Between what?
Stuck, eh?
Some griddle. Bud, when Mr. Pasternak comes in, I want to make an impression on him. So will you tell him something nice about me?
Well, certainly, George. I'll tell him about the salaries you pay everybody.
Do you think that'll impress him?
Well, sure. It's the little things that count.
Well, that'll be nice.
George, I've got an idea that might help you.
What is it, Artie?
Well, I've got a wonderful reference about myself, and when Pasternak comes in, I can switch it and say it's about you.
Swell, Artie.
Listen to it. You are a very bright person, one that makes friends easily. You have great talent and are destined to reach the greatest heights of success.
That's wonderful. Where'd you get it, Artie?
Out of a weighing machine.
Well, that's a great help.
Oh, George, I think you're silly. You don't need any help. When he comes in, just act natural. Just get up and tell a few jokes and sing a few songs. Let him see the real you. All right, so you won't get the job.
Now, stop helping. I know what I'll do. I'll tell him a few of my ideas. I'll impress him with my brain.
Sure, it's the little things that count.
I think I've got it. Hey, sound man, 4 years in Harvard. Come here.
Mr. Burns, just a moment. I'm reading the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Would you mind turning to the last page?
Why?
I want to see who gets the girl.
Oh, quiet. Sound man, come here. Look, I need a high-class introduction. And I know that you've had an education.
In what language do you want this introduction? I know Esperanto, Arabian, Sanskrit, Phoenician, Latin...
Do you know any Greek?
Only Parkyakakis.
Look, I want a flowery introduction in high-class English. Get the point?
Mr. Burns, I believe I have formulated in my mind an introduction befitting one of your position in radio.
Well, give out. Let's hear it.
Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, when you introduce a great playwright, you don't say William Shakespeare, you say Shakespeare. When you introduce a great actress, you don't say Greta Garbo, you say Garbo. The same is true in the field of comedy. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce George Burns.
Well, thanks very much, and remind me to give you a new doll for Christmas. And now the Smoothies, Babs, Charlie, and Little will sing Mr. Meadowlark.
George,
Yeah?
Is there any chance of us getting in the picture?
Well, have you ever had any experience?
Experience? We've been in all the RKO pictures.
In all the RKO pictures? What did you do? Oh, that's beautiful, beautiful. The beginning of the picture. Well, just sing your little number. Wait a minute. This is probably Mr. Pasternak. Come in.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Mr. Pasternak.
Gracie, it's your girlfriend, Bubbles. Pasternak is a producer. Did you ever hear of Three Smart Girls?
That's Bubbles.
It is, huh?
Say, George, the girl at the information desk told me to tell you that Mr. Pasternak called, and he said he'd be right over.
Well, thanks, Bubble.
And Gracie, did I get a thrill? I was just down at the drugstore, and they named a sandwich after me. Really? Uh-huh. It's a triple-decker chicken sandwich. You don't say. Yes, 2 chickens between 3 loaves of bread.
Well, that's a nice little tidbit. What's killing you now, Gracie?
Oh, remember, Bubbles, when you got on the scale at the drugstore the other day? Yes, and the scale was broken and it only registered 60 pounds. And one kid turned to the other, he said, "Look, Jimmy, she's hollow."
Holy, the song. Smoothies, that was a grand job with Mr. Meadowlark. You know, I love to listen to harmony. You know, I used to be with a quartet.
Oh, pardon me.
You know, Gracie, when you sneeze the other way.
I don't know any other way.
You know, I used to sing with the Pee Wee Quartet, and I was. Now this might be Joe Pasternak. Now remember, everybody, I'm your boss, so on your toes, I want to impress him. Come in. Oh, Mr. Pasternak. Hello, Mr. Pasternak.
Hello, George.
Gracie, take Mr. Pasternak's hat and coat.
While he's still looking?
Just take it, Gracie. Just take it.
George, I rushed right over, but I can't stay very long. You see, I'm in the middle of a new picture, 7 Sinners, with Marlene Dietrich.
I know.
I've been working very hard. Now, tonight I'll have to go back and probably be stuck with Marlene Dietrich until 3 in the morning.
Should happen to me.
Mr. Pasternak, do you rehearse the actors, too?
I do all the scenes with them. If it's a love scene, I do that, too.
You mean you kissed them?
Oh, I kissed all the movie stars.
Really? Oh, tell me, is it a thrill to kiss Clark Gable?
Gracie, please.
Miss Ellen, who'd want to kiss Clark Gable?
Should happen to me.
So, Mr. Pasternak, the comedy part of your next picture's still open, huh?
Yes, George, that's why I'm here. As a matter of fact, I had nothing but George Burns for the last few weeks.
Really? Who's been telling you about me?
You have.
Well, you're not making any mistake. Artie Shaw, do I get a lot of laughs on this program?
Yes, indeed. Mr. Pasternak, George has more talent in his little finger than Benny, Allen, and Hope together, it says here.
Mr. Pasternak, wasn't that a funny line that Artie Shaw just pulled? I wrote that joke.
It says here.
Quiet.
Senor Pasternak, Mr. Burns has a large talent. Listening to him sing has learned me a lot.
Lee, it isn't learned you. It's taught you.
Ah, sí, gracias. Senor Pasternak, listening to Mr. Burns sing, it's torture.
Well, that's much better. Well, anyway, Mr. Pasternak, I'm, not that I need the money, but I'd love to make a picture for you. I was on the Universal lot before. I got a big kick out of it.
Oh, yes, he got a big kick out of Paramount, and he got a kick out of RKO, and he got a kick out of MGM.
Quiet.
Oh, I can go on like this for years.
Mr. Pasternak, what's the plot of the picture?
Well, George, you know, it's a typical Hollywood story. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy, girl meets girl, boy meets boy. They meet at 8 o'clock, they meet again at 10.
Sounds like a lot of meat.
I put a lot of me in there because I know this was a spam program.
Well, it's really nice of you to mention spam, Mr. Pasternak.
George, I'm no fool. If the picture business blows over, I might try radio.
Oh, well, what would you do in radio?
When April showers move.
Oh, I see. You too, huh?
Let me out of here. 4 years in Harvard.
Sound man, what's bothering you now?
Joe Pasternak, picture producer who has a voice like Donald Duck with a bad cold, is a guest star on this program. Mr. Burns, whose voice sounds like ripping a rag, is the star of this program. I won the Nobel Prize for diction. And this is what I do for a living.
Mr. Pasternak, didn't you come up here to sign a fellow for a comedy role in the picture?
Okay, George, I'm ready.
Well, let me take you into the control room, and then you can hear those big laughs I get much better. Come on, Mr. Pasternak.
Now, listen, everybody. George really wants this job, and for once, I think we ought to help him.
Sure, I do, too.
Now, I've heard him rehearsing those jokes he's going to tell, and he needs plenty of help. But I've got an idea. Bubbles.
Yes, Gracie?
You stand at the back of George, and when he gets to the finish of each joke, you dance a rumba.
But, Gracie, I weigh 350 pounds. When I start to shake, people will laugh.
That's the idea.
Well, I got it. That's wonderful, Gracie. Pasternak will think they're laughing at George. George will get the job.
And we'll all live happily ever after.
Well, here comes George now.
Yeah, well, now get ready to rumba, Bubbles.
Okay.
Well, he's in there. Now for some funny stuff. Well, good evening, folks. On my way to the studio tonight, I dropped into a department store, and I said to the floor walker, I want to ask the salesgirl on the 5th floor for a date. How do I get up there? And he said, escalator. And I said, escalator nothing. I'll esca right now.
Bubbles.
Oh, boy.
Green.
What a laugh. I got him rolling out front.
They're rolling in back, too.
Say, folks, you should meet my girl. She's really a honey. I call her Knob because she's something to adore. Oh, boy. What a scream. Am I a success? Hip, hip, hooray.
Well, I don't know about the hooray, but those hips are doing all right.
Of course, folks, my girl is very healthy. She's a little puny. You know what a puny is? A puny is a small horse. Imagine such an old joke getting such a big laugh.
She's only 34.
Who's only 34?
Oh, here comes Mr. Pasternak.
Oh, well, let me do the talking. Well, Joe, how did you like it?
It was terrific, George. I never heard such a laugh. I got a contract right here.
Really? You really mean it? A contract for me?
No, for the fat girl who did the funny dance while you were telling those broken-down jokes.
That girl? Well, doing a funny dance. Well, that's a fine thing. I give an audition and Bubbles gets the job.
Well, goodbye, George. I'm leaving tonight on a talent search. I'm going east to get some new faces.
New faces? But, Mr. Pasternak, what about me?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Pasternak. Get one for George, too.
Is that so?
Okay, Gracie.
Well, Gracie, say goodnight.
Well, wait. I promised to say goodnight to the detail retailers who are holding their convention in St. Paul.
The detail retailers?
Yes.
You mean the retail meat dealers?
Well, it doesn't make a difference.
No, far be me from it. Good night, folks. Good night.
From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen. Artie Shaw and his orchestra. For singing glee, we're the Smoothies Three. Last but not least, and with Bud Heaston.
Why, the stars of our show, and here they are in person, George and Gracie.
Thank you very much. Folks, you'll have to forgive me if I'm a little out of breath. But the minute we hear Artie Shaw's music, all of us on the stage here, we just have to dance.
Oh, yes. George, did you see Bud and me doing the rumba?
Yeah, what was that? Artie Shaw was playing a foxtrot, and why were you and Bud doing a rumba?
Well, Bud used to be a football player.
Well, what's a football player got to do with a rumba?
Well, he's used to keeping the backfield in motion.
Well, thanks, George. You're a pretty good dancer yourself.
Oh, it's really nothing. Of course, I was a student of Nijinsky.
Really? Let me hear you say something in Nijinsky. Oh, good.
It's not a language. Nijinsky was an internationally famous dancer. At one time, he had the world's largest ballet.
Well, why did he go on a diet?
Gracie, I'm sure you've seen ballet dancing. Look, I'll give you a demonstration. I'll put my foot out like this.
Yeah.
See, then I'll point my toe
Mm-hmm.
and place my hand on my hip like this.
Uh-huh.
Then throw my head back gracefully like this.
Oh, isn't he pretty?
Yes, I'm a little dreamboat.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget one night in Cleveland. The ballet was doing the Dance of the Fawn, and there I was in an amber spotlight singing the Pipes of Pan. The audience was spellbound.
Senor Burns, you sang the Pipes of Pan?
Yes, Senor Lee, I sang the Pipes of Pan.
Which was worse, your pipes or your pan?
Artie, will you put a muzzle on that South American guitar player?
Sure, George, but first I'll have to take it off the piano player.
Well, take it off.
George, don't let him upset you. I happen to know that you know a lot about the theater. In fact, my grandfather used to tell me about seeing you on the stage.
When you were a kid?
No, when he was a kid.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, anyway, I do know a lot about the theater. My father and mother were actors. As a matter of fact, I was born on the stage.
Did you get much of a hand?
Yes, for an encore, I did a minuet with the stork.
The stork?
Yes.
You know, I once saw a stork that looked like a duck.
How can a stork look like a duck?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he wore his legs down delivering to Bing Crosby?
Yes, well, maybe. Where was I? Oh, yes, Nijinsky. Ah, those were the days. What acts they had in vaudeville. Bankoff and Gurley, Tittenfest and Lee, Croveney Brothers and Croveney. Where can you find talent like that today?
Well, I don't know about the rest of them, but I do know what Dittenfest is doing.
Dittenfest?
Yes.
Dittenfest and Lee?
Mm-hmm.
What's he doing?
He's an assistant to a doorknob polisher.
Assistant to a doorknob polisher?
Yeah?
What does he do?
Well, he's the fellow that goes, and the other fellow polishes.
That's some job.
George, as long as you're in an old-time mood, we smoothies would like to sing a real oldie, Alabama Bound.
Okay, kids. Alabama Bound. You know, I used to do that in vaudeville, too. Those were the days. You know, folks, vaudeville is in my blood.
Oh, so that's where it went.
Artie, you and Bud and the rest of you can kid all you want to. But if it hadn't been for vaudeville, I wouldn't have met Gracie. Remember, Gracie, the first time we met at the Hill Street Theater in Newark? You came into my dressing room?
Yes, and you had a picture of that balloon dancer on the wall.
That's right. And the minute I saw you, I took the picture down and put it in the wastebasket.
And then you put the wastebasket in the safe.
And then came all those tough years. I struggled and worked my fingers to the bone.
Yeah, but you couldn't open the safe.
Those were the days, yes. Smoothies, the song. Smoothies, that was beautiful. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a play. We're going to give you our version of the popular MGM picture, Gold Rush Maisie. In this story...
George, we're not going to do Gold Rush Maisie.
We're not.
No, I sat up 2 days and 2 nights and changed the whole title.
You did? Well, what is it now?
Gold Rush Gracie.
That's some twist. That
Isn't
took you
it?
2 days and 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
How did you happen to think of changing Maisie to Gracie?
Just blind luck, I guess.
Well, all right, I'll do it your way. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a play entitled Gold Rush Gracie. And I know you're going to like it because it's got a lot of old numbers. And I love old numbers.
No, eso a mí me consta. Yo sé que a ti te gustan mucho los números viejos.
Artie, what did Senor Lee say?
Well, George, he says he knows you love old numbers.
Oh, he does, huh?
Yeah, he saw you out with one last night.
Senor Lee, every week you start some new trouble. Why don't you go home and stay home?
I cannot do that. My father, she has the measles.
My father, she has the measles?
Your father, too?
Look, Senor, your father, he has the measles. Your mother, she has the measles. Your brothers, they have the measles.
Catching, isn't it?
Oh.
Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a play entitled Gold Rush Gracie.
Now.
Now?
Now, I changed the title.
What is it now?
Gracie of the Brown Derby.
Gracie of the Brown... This is a story about a gold mine.
What do you think the Brown Derby is?
All right, then. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a play entitled Gracie of the Brown Derby.
Mr. Burns.
Look, I know you went to Harvard for 4 years and that you're very unhappy because you're a sound man. But that's not...
It's not that. Would you mind if I slammed the door just once?
Why?
I read tonight's script, and I noticed that there are no sound effects for me.
Well, you're still getting paid.
Yes, I'm getting paid. Could I please slam the door just once?
Well, all right, slam the door.
Ah, now I feel better.
Why?
I refuse to accept charity.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a play entitled Gracie of the Brown Derby.
Now.
You changed the title.
Yes.
What is it?
She was killed wearing slacks, or she died like a man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to do a play entitled She Was Killed Wearing Slacks, or She Died Like a Man.
George, I hate to interrupt, but tonight I'd like to repeat Frenesy, the number I played on the opening show, because there's a very fine musician waiting to hear it.
Who?
Me.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a play entitled She Was Killed Wearing Slacks.
To think I'm a lowly sound man.
Sound man. Stop grumbling.
To think I've got one brother who won the Pulitzer Prize and another brother who won the Nobel Prize.
You've been telling me about those two genius brothers for weeks.
Yes, and they're ashamed of my being a sound man.
Well, if they're ashamed of you, why don't you quit?
If I quit, they don't eat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to do a play entitled...
Perdón, Senor Burns.
What is it, Senor Lee?
How about a part for me in the sketch?
Sketch? It's sketch. You don't even know your ABCs.
I do too. A, B, C.
Well?
There's more?
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a play entitled She Was Killed Wearing Slacks, or She Died Like a Man.
Now, I changed the title. The title is The Bus Drivers Who Wear Pajamas, or They Drive by 90.
Gracie, is this the last title?
It's positively the last title.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to do a play entitled The Bus Drivers Who Wear Pajamas, or They... Come in!
George Burns and Gracie Allen?
Yes?
I'm Joyce Moon.
Oh, Joyce Moon. George, I forgot to tell you, this young lady is from Fergus Falls, Minnesota, and she has been chosen Queen of the Lakes at the Minneapolis Aquatennial. Go ahead, Joyce. Go ahead.
Mr. Burns and Miss Allen, the people of Minnesota have sent me as a Goodwill ambassador to inform you that we in Minnesota are naming 2 lakes after you, Lake Burns and Lake Allen.
Naming 2 lakes after us. Well, Gracie, say something.
I don't know what to say. I've never been a lake before.
Gracie, please.
Here are 2 jars of water, one from Lake Burns and one from Lake Allen. As we knew you were too busy to come to Minnesota to christen the lakes, we brought the lakes here to christen you.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. And before you go back, Miss Moen, I must give you some water from our Los Angeles River. That is, as soon as I can find a shovel.
Miss Moen, we just can't wait until we see those 2 lakes.
Oh, they're very pretty little lakes. You know, Lake Burns and Lake Allen have a little bay.
They have a little bay, huh?
Well, isn't that cute? How long have they been married?
About 2 years.
Oh.
Well, goodbye. I've got to be running along.
Well, goodbye, Miss Moen, and thank you, and thanks to the people of Minnesota.
This is what I do for a living.
Quiet, sound man.
Pardon me, old man River.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're definitely going to do a play entitled The Bus Drivers Who Wear Pajamas, or They Drive by 90.
No.
No!
No. Now, I've really got the title now. Why I didn't think of this before, I'll never understand. This will really floor you.
Well, what's the title?
Gold Rush Maisie.
Artie, play Frenesy. And now for our play. And you can make up your own title. Bud, set the scene.
The scene of our story opens in a typical frontier dance hall, the Cafe Elbow, just a joint. All the dance hall hostesses are working hard trying to make an honest mink coat. In the center of the floor, we find our heroine, Gold Rush Gracie.
Well, the dance is over, Killadilly Shaw, and I sure enjoyed it.
I'm mad about you, Gold Rush Gracie. You got me walking around in circles.
Well, with your bow legs, what else can you do?
Hello, Gold Rush Gracie.
Sheriff Burns. Sheriff, you're just in time. Dead-Eye Dawson is here.
Dead-Eye Dawson?
Yeah.
Why, he's a killer. Quick, let's call the posse.
Oh, I can't.
Why not?
The posse's outside having kittens.
Out of my way, Gold Rush. I'll get him. Where is he?
Oh, there he goes. He's heading for the free lunch counter.
Well, out of my way.
Ouch.
Oh. You got him, Sheriff.
I got him? Well, where did I get him?
Between the chopped liver and the cold cuts.
That's a mighty painful place.
Well, there goes Dead-Eye Dawson, the only real bad man in the town. The only man I could have loved and married. I love bad men. I love good men. I love tall men and I love short men. I love men.
Quiet.
I can go out like this for years.
I know. Gold Rush Gracie, according to the terms of your father's will, if you're not married by 5 o'clock today, your gold mine goes back to the one your father hates the most.
You mean to Mama?
Yes, I mean to Mama. And Gold Rush, you've only got a few minutes left to pick out a man and get married. What do you say?
Nick, give me a drum roll.
Drum roll.
Now, come on, boys. Get around me. Boys, you all know I'm going to lose the gold mine if I don't get married before 5 o'clock.
That's right, yes, sir.
So now we're going to hold a contest, and the toughest man gets me and my gold mine.
Oh, boy, that's going to be fun.
Oh, but wait a minute, boys. Wait a minute. The man I marry must be as bad as my pappy.
Well, what did your pappy do?
Well, he once met an Italian with a sore throat, and pappy did something that was terrible.
What did he do?
He tied knots in his spaghetti.
He did he?
Make way for Gold Rush Gracie's new husband. Gold Rush, you don't have to look any further. I'm the baddest man in town. The rest of these here fellas are all sissies.
Sissies? Did you hear that, men? This fella says that you're all sissies. Well, are you all sissies? Well, are you all sissies? Well, are you?
Don't rush us, kid. We're trying to think.
Well, Gold Rush, you better make up your mind. You've got to get married to somebody.
Make way, here comes Bullethead Heaston. He'll gallop through the window. He's riding for trouble.
No.
Whoa!
He's a Fanchon Marco unit, this kid.
You call that riding for trouble? When my pappy rode, there was real trouble.
How come?
Well, he didn't know how to ride.
Oh, well.
Out of my way, varmints. Gold Rush Gracie, if you're looking for a real bad man to marry, I'm a man with a record. On my right arm here, I've got tattooed names of the men I've killed. On my left arm, I've got tattooed all the names of the banks I've held up. And on my back, I've got tattooed, well, you wouldn't be interested.
Oh, well, yes, I would. Come here, let me read it. Listen, boys. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy. Or was he?
Well, what do you think of Fuzzy Wuzzy?
It's pretty lousy. You've got a poem tattooed on your back and your record tattooed on your arms, eh?
I got something on my chest, too.
Well, what is it?
Ladies and gentlemen, for a tasty snack, just open a can of Spam. It's all ready to eat. You'll find everybody in the house likes its meaty flavor and it needs no refrigeration. And there's nothing like Spam for lunch.
You call yourself bad, huh?
Oh, I'm plenty bad. Today, for lunch,
yes,
I had hamburger.
Oh.
That is bad.
You ain't half as tough as my pappy. My pappy would take a telephone book and tear it with 2 fingers like this.
Say, tearing a phone book with 2 fingers. That's wonderful, Gold Rush Gracie. How did you ever do it?
Easy. It was a Glendale phone book.
Well, it's no use, Gold Rush Gracie. You'll have to go a long way to find anybody as tough as your pappy.
From there to here is far?
Yeah.
You're tougher than her pappy?
You really think so?
What makes you so bad?
I'm the black sheep of my family. I'm in bad with my uncle. I'm in bad with my father. I'm in bad with my cousin. And it's no good.
Why?
It's too many in one bad.
Well, Gold Rush, your time is just about up.
Well, I guess I'm gonna lose the gold mine after all.
Oh, don't take it too hard. Come on over to the piano and I'll sing you a little song. One April showers, all will come your way. Oh, for they bring clouds of that blooming May.
Oh, stop, Sheriff, stop. After hearing you sing, I've made up my mind that you're the man I'm going to marry.
Why?
Because nobody can be as bad as you are.
Is that so? And now, ladies and gentlemen, that was the story of Gold Rush Gracie.
Now.
Well, Gracie, say goodnight.
Oh, good night.
Say, Gracie, wasn't that nice to have 2 lakes named after us?
Yes, but Jack Benny had a mountain named after him.
A mountain?
Yeah.
What is that?
Mount Baldy.
Good night, folks. Driver, will you hurry up? I'll be late for the broadcast. Gee, Gracie won't know what to do without me.
Now, don't worry. We'll get there in time, Poopsie.
Now, don't call me Pupsy. My name is George Burns.
All right, Poopsie.
Oh.
Now, you're going to put me on the radio, and I'm going to be your new partner like you promised.
Oh, sure. I'll put you on the radio.
Poopsie.
Now, please, Elsie. The driver is looking.
Well, may I go up and see the broadcast?
No, anything but that. Driver, please hurry. I'll miss the broadcast.
From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen. Artie Shaw and his orchestra for singing glee. We're the Smoothies 3. Last but not least, and with Bud Heaston.
And now, George and Gracie.
Thank you very much.
Gracie, where's George?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know? We're on the air. He's not here.
Yeah, isn't that too bad? And he loves this program.
Well, Gracie, do you know where he was last?
Last? Oh, yes, he was last in the popularity poll.
Well, Gracie, this is awful. What are we going to do? We've got to find him.
All right, Bud, let's go look for him. We'll drive out to the beach, and if he's not there, then we'll take a walk through Griffith Park, and if he's not there, then we'll go over and sit in the balcony of the Paramount Theater.
You think he'll be in any of these places?
Well, what if he is? We've got a right to lead our own lives.
Gracie, this is awful. We've got to find George. When was the last time you saw him?
Oh, now let me see. The last time I saw him, he was out with a girl. Say, maybe something happened. Oh, no. When George is out with a girl, nothing ever happens. Say, now, maybe he's out window shopping. No, he's got enough windows. On the other hand, maybe he's just staying home enjoying a sunbath.
Enjoying a sunbath?
Yes, you know the girl across the street takes one every afternoon, and George certainly enjoys it. No, let's see. It's too late for that sunbath. Maybe he's downstairs.
Hello, Gracie.
Hello. Maybe he's downstairs. Maybe he's chatting with somebody who likes him on the radio. Oh, no, he'd look awful silly talking to himself.
Gracie, who are you talking about?
George Burns is not here yet, and we're terribly worried. Oh, dear, I wonder what's keeping George. Maybe he went to a cocktail party and overslept.
Gracie, remember me?
Well, George! Bud, look, George is here.
Oh, Artie, George is here.
Boys, George is here.
Well, Artie, give him a fanfare.
What's keeping George? Maybe he overslept.
Quiet.
George, where have you been?
Well, I was out with the... where have I been? Oh, yes. Where have I been? I've just been to a doctor's.
To a doctor?
Oh, yes, a very famous doctor, Smith. That's it, Dr. Smith. Everybody knows him.
Oh, was the doctor sitting on your lap?
Sitting on my lap?
Yes, there's lip rouge on your face.
Oh, that red spot.
Yeah.
That's my blood pressure.
Blood pressure way up on your forehead?
Well, Bud, maybe it's high blood pressure.
Well, you see, it is. My blood pressure is 192.
Ah, it looks more like Tangy number 5.
Please, Gracie, I'm not a well man. I got dressed this morning, and I had a sinking feeling around my knees.
Maybe you forgot your suspenders.
Look, Gracie, I'm a very sick man, you see.
Si me permites, puedo sugerir una cosa yo creo muy bueno para eso.
What is it, Senor Lee?
Senor Burns, why don't you have the druggist send over a dream of sodium bicarbonate?
A dream?
All right, drum.
Senor, dram.
Watch your language.
Well, I think I will go to the drugstore. Say, soundman, will you please open the door?
Mr. Burns.
I know. You've been to Harvard for 4 years, but I'm in no mood to listen to you, so will you please open the door?
Mr. Burns, as a student of medicine, may I suggest a remedy for your ailment? Before you go to bed tonight, just take a supersaturated solution of monoacetic acid, ester of salicylic acid.
Why, that's aspirin.
Darn it, I could never think of that word.
And now the smoothies will sing Madame Lasanga. And, Gracie, while they're singing, I'm going to run down to the drugstore.
To the drugstore? For what?
They sell pills, don't they?
Well, sure. They'll sell to anybody if you've got the money.
Maybe they'll have something that'll put me to sleep tonight.
Well, did you ever hear of a sleeping powder?
Sleeping powders?
Uh-huh.
Certainly.
Well, why don't you find out what puts the powder to sleep and
then use the same thing?
Yeah.
I thought so. The smoothies will now...
Gee, Gracie, George isn't here yet. I guess he's still down at the drugstore.
See, Artie, maybe he really is sick.
Gosh, I hope he recovers in a hurry because we can't get along without him on the show, it says here.
Well, Gracie, do you think I ought to go down to...
Hello, Spam's Meatheart speaking.
May I speak to Poopsie?
Poopsie? We have no Poopsie here.
Poopsie Burns, the star of the Spam program.
Oh, sure, Poopsie.
Yeah, he's the one. We spent all morning at the beach playing piggyback.
Oh, playing piggyback with Poopsie, huh? So that's why he was late for the broadcast.
Yeah, he was in such a hurry that he forgot to pay the cab fare, and I had to pay it.
Oh, that's Poopsie, all right.
Anyway, tell him Elsie Tralafast called, and that I left my compact in his coat pocket, and to bring it to rehearsal tomorrow.
Rehearsal? What rehearsal?
He promised to put me on the radio.
Put you on the radio?
Yeah.
You mean instead of a bowl of water lilies?
Oh, you don't understand. You see, I'm going to be his new partner.
Is that so? Well, I'll bet I know just what type of girl you are. You have a pretty little Cupid mouth, and you use Tangy number 5.
How did you know that?
Oh, it's written all over Poopsie's face.
Gracie, invite her over. George will be glad to see her.
Really?
Yeah.
Miss Tralafast, Poopsie just stuck his head in the door and said for you to come right over.
Why, the darling. I'll be right over. And give him this for me.
So George is going to get a new partner, huh?
I can't understand why George would take a strange girl and promise to put her on the radio and promise to make her a star.
Well, maybe he likes to play piggyback.
How do you like that 20th century wolf coming in late and saying he was sick? A big grown-up man like that spending all day at the beach playing piggyback with a beautiful girl should happen to me.
Say, when George finds out that we do know about this girl, he'll really get sick.
Yeah? Oh, give me the phone. I better call the doctor. Operator, give me Gladstone 1131.
Gracie, you better hurry. I'll watch for George.
Hello?
Dr. Kelso's office.
Oh, will you have the doctor come over to the Burns and Allen program right away?
He's operating in Joey Brown's mouth, but I'll tell him when he comes out.
Gracie, quick, hang up. George is coming.
Oh, goodbye.
Look, will you please stop slamming the door, sound man? I'm in a terrible state. My body aches and I feel a headache coming.
I know, Mr. Burns, and I'll be right here at the door to let her in.
Gracie, I'm a little sick. This program is too much for me.
Well, maybe you're on the wrong program.
Wrong program?
Well, maybe you should be on We the Pupsy.
We the what?
Well, you know, the Pupsidon program with the
Pupsidon
Bob Hole. Yeah.
program?
Yeah.
Well, never mind. I'm not well. Can't you see I'm a little pale?
Now, if you had a little shovel, you could go back to the beach.
Look, will you people stop? I'm so sick it's got me scared. I might even have to quit the radio.
Don't worry, Senor Burns. You can always open up an antique shop like Eddie Camembert.
Eddie Cantor. Camembert's an imported cheese.
And what are you, a local boy?
Listen, folks, I'd like to lie down.
George, you can lie on the sofa.
Well, you can lie in the other room, or you can lie in this room. You can lie any place.
Gracie, I don't care where I lie.
You said it.
What's the matter with you people? The way you act, you'd think I wasn't telling the truth.
Who? What?
Well, sound man, there's somebody knocking at the door.
Very well, Mr. Burns. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please, while a graduate of Harvard, class of 29, goes to work. I open the door thusly, and I close it thusly. And my father thought I'd be a failure.
Quiet. Good evening. I am Dr. Kelso.
Oh, there's your patient, Doctor.
Patient?
Gracie was worried about you, George, so she called a doctor.
Well, look, I'm not that sick. A fella has a little cold, and they sent for a doctor.
Colds can sometimes be very dangerous. Mr. Burns, open your mouth and say, excuse me. Pardon me, say Mr. Burns.
Well, this is going to be fine.
Now, personally, I avoid colds by drying myself thoroughly after taking a shower.
Gracie, this fellow certainly knows a lot about colds.
Well, he should. He's had one for years.
Say, Kildare, I think my cold is getting a little better.
You know, you people in show business should be careful. I've treated picture stars like Robert Taylor and Clark Gable.
Oh, please, Doctor. Taylor and Gable are nothing to sneeze at.
From now on, I'll have the scripts typed on Kleenex.
When I treated Mr. Gable, he was playing in the picture called Hurricane.
Senor Doctor, it's gone with the wind.
What's gone with the wind?
Your teeth.
Look, Doctor, will you please go away? I'm a nervous man.
Will you stick out your tongue, Mr. Burns?
All right.
Further.
Further.
What a spot for a ski jump.
Gracie, why did you send for this fellow?
You know, you've got to be very careful about germs.
Yes, I can see that.
For years, we doctors have been trying to stop germs from spreading.
Well, why don't you make them wear little girdles?
Gracie, will you stop helping him? Look, Doctor.
This is more serious than I thought. I'd better use the portable X-ray machine on you, Mr. Burns. Get a little closer, please.
All right.
Now, stand still. This is amazing.
Oh, Doctor, let me take a look. Well, blow me down. Well, darned if he didn't.
Doctor, what do you see?
I see a round black thing in front of your heart.
In front of my heart?
There's something written on it. It says, "To Elsie with love from Popsy." It's a compact.
A compact? Artie, the music, quick! And now...
George, how did that compact get in your pocket?
Well, Gracie, do you want to hear the truth?
No, I don't want to hear the truth. I want to hear what happened.
Well, if you have to know, I was at a cafe last night, and they gave those compacts out to everybody.
Why was Elsie written on it?
Elsie? Well, it was a publicity stunt, and it was for Elsie the cow. That's it, Elsie. She's a Jersey cow.
Oh. She sounded more like she came from Brooklyn to me.
Well, I don't care what you think. It's the truth. Elsie is a cow. Come in.
Pupsy!
Here I go.
Oh, no. Don't look now, Ferdinand, but your cow is here.
Look, miss, will you wait outside?
Oh, no. Come in, Elsie. I want to hear you and Pupsy do a little billing and mooing.
Gracie, will you be quiet?
But, George, she's going to be your new partner.
My partner?
Uh-huh.
My partner? Gracie, how can she be my partner? She hasn't any talent.
Why, Pupsy, that's not what you told me in the taxi.
I didn't mean that, and stop calling me Pupsy.
But you said you were going to work with me.
That's ridiculous, Miss Tralifass. What could you and I do together?
Well, you could always play piggyback.
Piggyback. Look, will you all stop?
Yeah, we ought to leave George alone. Stop getting him excited.
Thanks, Artie.
He's nothing to poke fun at. He's nothing to ridicule. He's nothing to laugh at. In fact, he's just nothing.
Gracie, I don't want any new partner. I couldn't do anything without you. Where would I go? I'm too old to go back to Gus Edwards.
Why, George. I think you and Elsie will make a swell team.
Gracie, she knows nothing about radio. Besides, she's got a job. She's a dietitian.
You mean she fixes glasses?
No, fixes glasses.
I work with vitamins and calories.
What station are they on?
Gracie, vitamins and calories are not on the radio.
Full vitamin and cap calorie?
Look, I hardly know this girl. I never promised to put her on the radio.
Oh, you did so, Poopsie. Do you know, Miss Allen, a lot of people say I'll be another Molly McGee.
Well, you'll be swell together because George is a terrific fibber.
Elsie, will you wait outside?
Senor Burns?
Look, Elsie, will you wait outside?
Senor Burns?
Look, Elsie, just go outside and...
Hey, Poopsie!
Stop calling me Poopsie! What do you want, Senor Lee?
That Elsie, in her cheeks, she's got very pretty dimples.
Dimples? It's dimples, not dimples. All you've got to do is take you out.
Take you out?
Yes.
Why, Poopsie, I didn't know you cared.
What have I done to deserve all this?
You promised to put Elsie on the radio.
Oh, Poopsie, I've got our new radio show all picked out, and it's going to be wonderful. I've got my uncle's band, Duke Pringle, and his rootin' tootin' tan.
Oh, that's
That ought to be great, yes.
And instead of the smoothies, I've got a school chum of mine, Leilani O'Brien.
Oh,
Sounds fine,
wonderful.
And guess who I got for the announcer?
Who?
Can't
My
wait.
brother-in-law, Samuel Oglethorpe Jr.
Oh, that's wonderful. I can just hear that program now.
Crazy people! The Poopsie program, starring George and Elsie. Spam, bop, boom, spam.
Poopsie Burns and Elsie Trailerfast, Duke Prindle and his rootin' tootin' tan. For singing glee, we've got Leilani O'Brien. Last but not leastin', with Samuel Oglethorpe Jr.
Quiet! This is awful. I've had enough of this. Elsie, why don't you go home?
Spam program, Bud Easton speaking.
Hello, Bud. I want to talk to George Burns.
Oh, yes, sir. George, it's the sponsor.
I knew this would happen. Hello, I'm sorry about
I've
this.
listened to the whole show, and I think that new combination is sensational.
What new combination?
Gracie Allen and Elsie Tralifass, and I'm going to sign them up.
You're going to sign up Gracie Allen and Elsie Tralifass? What about me?
You can go and play piggyback, Poopsie.
Well, Well, Gracie, say goodnight.
Well, good night.
Well, come on, Gracie, I'll take you home.
Now,
Come on, Gracie. Come on, I'll take you home.
now, will you promise to put me on the radio, Poopsie?
Good night, folks.
From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show. Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen.
For singing glee, we're the smoothies three. Last but not least, and with Bud Heaston.
And here they are, George and Gracie. Thank you very much.
Hello, Bud.
Hello, Gracie. Say, you should have been with me Saturday night. I went to a party at Irene Dunn's house. By the way, Bud, what's Irene Dunn doing?
Done doing? George, what kind of English is that?
What kind of English is that?
I
said, what's Irene Dunn doing?
You mean, what's Irene Dunn?
Gracie, isn't Irene Dunn a motion picture star?
Well, yes. I saw her in My Favorite Wife.
Well, that's the picture that Irene Dunn did.
Done did? Oh, that's even worse than done doing.
Well, George, maybe I can help you. You see, Gracie, Irene Dunn told me that...
Dunn told you? Oh, what did Irene Dunn told you, Rochester?
Look, Gracie, when Irene Dunn does a picture, it doesn't mean that Irene Dunn done a picture. It means Irene Dunn did a picture. And the picture that Dunn did is what Dunn's done.
Do you feel all right, Daddy?
But why did you have to stop us?
Señor Burns, yo sé una cosa muy graciosa de esta película.
That's the guitar player, yes. What is it, Senor Lee?
I saw that picture with that Irene Dunn and that Kenny Grunt. He's wonderful.
Kenny Grunt? You mean Cary Grant?
Remember in the picture when she puts her arms around him and hugged him and squeezed him?
Yes.
Well, Kenny Grunt?
Artie, will you keep that South American pocket carcass quiet?
Okay, Poopsie.
And stop with that Poopsie. That's what the girl called me here last week, and now it's all over.
Oh, George, I knew I had something to tell you. You know that sweet little girl who was up here last week? The one you promised to make your new partner on the radio?
You mean Elsie Tralapass?
Yeah, that's the one, Poopsie.
Stop calling me Poopsie. And I was only fooling when I promised to put her on the radio. Don't tell me that she's taking it to heart.
Oh, worse than that, she's taking it to court.
She's taking it to court?
Yeah, and when she told me that she was suing you for $10,000, I told her a thing or a couple.
$10,000?
Yes, I said to her, I said, Elsie, by the time you get through buying the clothes to wear in front of the jury, paying your lawyer and paying your court expenses, you have nothing left out of the $10,000.
Well,
what's the sense of it?
That's right. Did she see your point?
Certainly did.
Oh, good.
Now she's suing you for $200,000.
You ad-libbed 100. $200,000?
Oh, don't worry about it, George. A friend of mine was sued for $150,000, and he didn't pay a cent.
Well, Artie, I'd like to meet him.
Well, you can talk to him tomorrow.
Well, good.
Visiting hours are from 2 to 4.
Well, certainly in a lovely mess. Now I'll have to get a lawyer, and it'll probably cost me thousands of dollars.
Oh, not the lawyer I hired for you.
You hired a lawyer for me?
Yeah, and he's very cheap.
Well, how do you know he's cheap?
Well, I had lunch with him today, and I had to pay my own check.
Gracie, did anybody ever tell you that you were a little imbecilic?
Yes, the picnic one.
I see.
But I guess he didn't mean it because I never saw him again.
Everything happens to me. A lawsuit for $200,000.
Senor Burns?
What?
If you're looking for a good lawyer, get my uncle. He handled the Dreyfus case.
The Dreyfus case? You mean Alexander Dreyfus from Devil's Island?
No, the taxi Dreyfus from Coney Island.
$200,000. I wouldn't pay that Elsie Tralapass a nickel.
Good for you, George. That'll help me a whole lot.
How'll it help you?
I'll be able to tell our listeners that both you and Spam are in the can.
Well, that hit the spot.
Thanks, George.
I thought so. And here I was saving my money for when I was old and decrepit.
Yeah, and just when you are, look what happened.
This whole thing is absurd.
Well, George is right. That Elsie is nothing but a gold digger, and I told her plenty, too. I told her that before she'd get a dime from you, George, you'd draw all your money out of the bank.
Oh, that wouldn't frighten a girl like Elsie.
Oh, it wouldn't, huh? It scared her so that she tied up your bank account.
Tied up my bank account? Oh. Look, George passed out.
Well, I can't understand it, Bud. Wouldn't you think he'd be interested in what I'm telling him? Oh, George is still out. Artie, hold his head while I give him another spoonful of this medicine.
Gracie, that's extract of bitters. That's extract of bitters. That's terrible stuff.
I know. Hold his head while I give him another spoonful. Another spoonful.
Gracie, you're spilling half of that medicine on his chin. Wipe it off.
I can't. It burns my fingers.
Well, listen, George, I got bad news. Oh, gee, still out, huh?
Yeah, hold his head, Artie.
Well, listen. Elsie's sweetheart is outside, and he's a big bruiser, and I can't hold him, and he says he's going to come in here and mop up the floor with George. Shall I call for help?
Oh, no. He and George can mop up this floor without any help.
Gee, this is awful. What'll we do?
Oh, how about you and me going to Cyril's tonight?
Oh. Look, is George coming too?
No, just you and I.
Oh. He's coming out of his faint. Shall I tell him about Elsie's sweetheart, that big bruiser who's coming here to beat him up?
No, not that. He'll fight again. He'll faint again.
Oh, that's all right. There's plenty of medicine left.
Oh, where am I? Oh, I know. Boy, this lawsuit has certainly left a bitter taste in my mouth. Gracie, that's Elsie's sweetheart. Hey, soundman, that's probably my lawyer. Let him in.
Mr. Burns, before I open the door, do your insurance policies carry double indemnity in case of death by accident?
Well, yes.
You are a very lucky man, weren't you?
Soundman, will you let my lawyer in?
Well, you asked for it.
Who's George Burns?
Uh-oh, here comes malicious.
I'm George Burns.
Oh, so you're George Burns.
That's right.
What about you and Elsie Tralapass?
Well, he doesn't know her. He's never heard of her, have you, George?
Certainly I know Elsie Tralapass. I know her very well. And, mister, if you're going to help me out of this legal jam, I might as well tell you the truth.
Good.
I'll give it to you straight from the shoulder.
Oh, vice versa.
Just how well did you know Elsie Tralapass?
Well, I'm not a man who likes to boast, but on the other hand, this is no time to hold anything back.
Calling Dr. Kildare.
One night about a week ago, I was taking her home in a taxi, and I put my arm around her.
Like this?
Yeah, but I held her a little tighter.
You mean like this?
Oh, wait a minute, not that tight.
Oh, that was quite a crush.
Yeah, it couldn't have killed me. And after I took Elsie home, we were standing in the hallway.
Senor Burns?
Standing in the hallway with Elsie, you see.
Senor Burns?
And we were both in the hallway.
Hey, Poopsie!
What is it, Senor Lee?
Can I have your tooth powder after you get your teeth knocked out?
I'm not going to get my teeth knocked out.
I know something that you don't know.
Artie, will you keep that stale character quiet? So we were standing in the hallway, and I put my lips against Elsie's, and she...
George, shall I play my number now?
What number?
Get out of town before it's too late.
Artie, you're not playing that number.
No, this is the number you're playing, Artie. Let me get at the piano. When April showers will come your way, be careful, Poopsie, of what you say. We're trying to tell you, take it on the lamb. This fellow isn't what you think he is. If you want to continue for Sam, just keep your mouth shut.
Oh, quiet. Anyway, mister, I was standing in the hallway with Elsie, and she threw her arms around me. Stop, man. Stop slamming the door. You know I hate bangs.
You hate bangs? Then keep your mouth shut. You've said enough.
Oh, quiet.
Yeah, what's going on?
This guy behind you is pretty tough.
You'll be looking up at daisies that you won't be able to smell.
Wah, 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 wah. Whenever Elsie's boyfriend comes along.
Good evening, Forest Lawn.
Look, what's going on here? Here I am worrying about $200,000 lawsuit and everybody's singing.
Say, did Elsie ever happen to mention her boyfriend?
Yeah, I heard her say something. She's going around with some dope or something.
Dope?
Hold your hats, boys. Here it comes.
You did say dope, didn't you?
Yeah, some big dope or something. Sound man, why are you opening the door? There's nobody going out.
That's what you think. Hey, Mr. Burns, I think we can talk this over better in the alley.
Yeah, it's too noisy in here. Come on, let's go.
George, don't tell me Irene Dunn that he'll be done.
What Irene Dunn done? What's that?
Irene Dunn told me it's Elsie's boyfriend.
What, Irene Dunn? Who's afraid of Elsie's boyfriend? Why, with one hand I can crumple him to pieces.
I'm Elsie's boyfriend.
And with the other hand I can... Oh. What happened?
Oh, George has fainted. Artie, hold his head while I give him some more medicine.
Yeah, when he comes to, tell him that he's not only being sued for $200,000 for breach of contract, but I'm suing him for $300,000 for alienation of affection. Goodbye, everybody. And goodbye, Poopsie.
Well, what are we going to do with George? He fainted again. Can't anybody do something?
I can do something.
We'll do it.
I'll be delightful.
Yeah. Oh, Artie, hold his head. I'll give him another spoonful.
Boop, boop. Gracie, is this medicine good for fainting?
Oh, it's marvelous for fainting.
How do you know?
Well, every time I give my daddy a spoonful, he faints.
Oh. What happened? Who am I?
George Burns.
Where am I?
George Burns. Oh, who types these things anyway?
Where am I? Oh, now I remember. Elsie Trellifath's boyfriend. What happened to him?
He's gone.
I wish that lawyer would come. Being sued for $200,000. Why, if I lose that case, it'll be like taking the shirt off my back.
Well, here comes Striptease Burns now.
Striptease Burns?
Yeah, because her boyfriend is suing you for $300,000.
$300,000? Oh.
Artie, hold his head.
Oh.
Say, George looks flushed. Has anybody got a thermometer?
Here's one, Senor Bug. I got it off the wall.
That's a barometer, not a thermometer.
In his condition, he'll know the difference?
Oh, give it to me, Bud. Open his mouth, Artie. My, this is awful.
Well, what's wrong with George? What does it say?
He's partly cloudy in the southern region. Artie, hold his head.
Oh. Bud, take the barometer out of George's mouth.
Oh, here it is.
And now put his teeth back in.
Now give him another spoonful.
Boop, boop.
Gracie, that's the 30th spoonful you've given him, and it hasn't done him any good.
I know.
Well, then why are you making him finish all that terrible medicine?
I want to get my nickel back in the bottle.
Where is he?
Who?
The lawyer. He's supposed to be here. Oh, my head.
Oh, what's the matter, George?
I don't feel well. I've got spots in front of my eyes.
Oh, then that stuff I gave you is a fake.
Fake?
Yeah, look what it says here in the bottle. Good for removing spots.
Gracie, that's Carbona.
Senor Burns?
Yes, what is it, Senor Lee?
Once I had a date with Brenda and Carbona.
Brenda and Carbona? Carbona makes you sick.
Brenda's a doll?
Artie, will you send that broken-down guitar player back to Local 802? This must be him. Come in.
Mr. Burns?
Yes?
My name is Jules Covey, attorney at law. I'm calling with reference to the Elsie Trellifath case.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Mr. Covey, as I'd like to explain the whole thing to you.
Well, that's what attorneys are for, Mr. Burns.
Well, now, to begin with, I did take Elsie Trellifath out a few times. She was young and pretty, and after all, I'm only human.
George, don't say anything you can't prove.
I've got that down, Mr. Burns.
Well, anyway, the first night I met her, we drove out to the beach, and the radio was playing, and I had the pot of gold on.
Is that prettier than a derby?
Will you be quiet? Go ahead, Mr. Burns. I'm writing it down.
So we were driving along, and I kept telling her how pretty she was and how smart she was, and pretty soon we came to a lonely spot, and I ran out of compliments.
That's a new one. Most fellows run out of gas.
Gracie, for your information, there are lots of couples who don't neck in parked cars.
Yeah, the woods are full of them.
All right, so maybe I kissed her a few times. But please, Gracie, it's very important that the lawyer hears my story.
I've got that down, Mr. Burns.
Of course, that wouldn't look very good to a jury, so when we get to court, Mr. Colby, let's cut out the kissing.
You mean you and he'll just hold hands?
Gracie, will you keep still?
Go ahead, Mr. Burns. I've got that down.
Well, you can tell the jury that I'm a man of very fine character.
George, Mr. Colby just met you. He doesn't even know you.
Well, if he doesn't know George, then he can say it.
Ah, well, this cast is always kidding me like this, Mr. Colby. But they'll be glad to be character witnesses for me, won't you, boys?
Oh, you bet your life we will, George. I'll be glad to stand up in court and tell them what a wonderful guy you are.
Oh, thanks, Bud.
How much does it pay?
You know, now you've got me so confused I don't know which way to turn.
Oh, a Los Angeles driver, huh?
A lot of fine friends.
Senor Burns,
What is it, Senor Lee?
for 50 cents, I will tell the jury that you are a perfect gentleman.
50 cents, huh? I won't pay it.
All right, so I'll say you're good for nothing.
You got that down, Mr. Colby?
Poor George, he started out looking for a character witness, and look what happened.
No witness?
No character.
Oh, keep still. Anyway, Mr. Colby, I met this Elsie Tralafast in a restaurant, and you never saw anybody eat so much in your life. She ordered a double porterhouse steak, and in 2 seconds, she looked up at me, and what do you think she said?
I've got that down, Mr. Burns.
That was exactly what she said. You see, it really was a lot of innocent fun.
Oh, so that's what happened.
Well, not exactly. That's what I want you to tell the jury. If the opposing side knew the real facts, I wouldn't have a leg to stand on. You see, between you and me, I did promise to put Elsie Tralafast on the radio.
I see what you mean, Mr. Burns. And believe me, I can't possibly lose this case. Good day.
Good day. Now, there's a great lawyer. See, Gracie? He says he can't lose.
Oh, that's what he says. I'll bet your lawyer will beat him.
My lawyer? My lawyer?
Yes?
Who was that?
Oh, Tralafast's lawyer.
Elsie Tralafast. Oh.
Artie, hold his head.
Oh, Gracie? Say goodnight.
Oh, good night. And by the way, George, here's some good news. You know, it didn't do Elsie Tralafast any good to tie up your money.
Swell, Gracie. Why?
Well, I found out that your bank just failed.
Oh.
Artie, hold his head.
Well, will George come to by next week? Will he win the case? Will he have to pay $100,000? What will happen? Who cares? Good night.
From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen. Artie Shaw and his orchestra for singing glee with the Smoothies 3. Last but not least, and with Bud Heaston.
Tonight we find George and Gracie about to leave for the courthouse where Elsie Tralafast, the girl whom George promised to put on the radio, is suing him for $200,000 for breach of contract. And here they are, George and Gracie.
Gracie, before we leave for the courthouse, it's very important that you get this right. Now, I'll try again for the 50th time. Now, you're on the witness stand, and I'll pretend I'm the attorney. Now, you're going to be my character witness.
What's that?
What's that?
Yeah.
A character witness is someone who would say you're nice, you're sweet, you're charming, adorable.
George.
What?
I was out with a character witness last night.
I better reword this whole thing. Look, Gracie, if I were your character witness, I'd say you were kind, considerate, in fact, a lovely girl.
Oh, now I get it.
Good. Now we'll try again. Miss Allen, what do you think of George Burns?
He's kind, considerate, in fact, a lovely girl.
Gracie, I'm not a lovely girl.
Have you tried washing your undies in Lux?
Gracie, for instance, if someone got up and said Mr. Burns is a straightforward, sincere, hard-working, industrious man, a credit to his community, what would that be?
A paid political announcement.
Gracie, it's very important that you know what a character witness is. It's someone who knows me personally and gets up and tells the jury what they know about me.
Senor Burns, I shall be most happy to be a character witness for my friend who I've known for a long distance.
Well, thanks, Senor Lee. Now, what would you say about me?
Pues tendré que decir la verdad, ¿verdad? Como soy un hombre muy honrado, me veré obligado a decir...
That's very nice, Senor Lee. But why don't you say what you know about me in English?
You want to lose the case?
Well, I can see Elsie Tralifass spending my $200,000 right now.
George, your car's waiting downstairs. We better start for court.
Well, thanks, Artie. Oh, by the way, Artie, will you tell Gracie what you're going to say when you're on the stand as my character witness?
Oh, sure. I know George Burns, and I've been with him for a long time. We've never had a contract. His word is his bond. And I might add that I only wish that I were half the man that he is. See, Gracie? Boy, the things I have to say to hold this job.
That's nice gratitude. Why, Artie, when I first met you, you were a spendthrift, and I changed you. You thought of nothing but running around and having a good time, and I changed you. What were you when I first picked you up? Huh, a baby.
And he changed you.
Oh, quiet. What do you think, this is a joke?
I don't know. It got a laugh.
I wonder if Elsie Tralifass is having this kind of trouble.
George, I'm surprised that lawyer isn't here yet.
Oh, by the way, Gracie, are you sure that lawyer you hired for me is all right?
Well, he handled my uncle's divorce case and settled the whole thing in one day.
How did your uncle make out?
Well, he got the custody of his wife's parents.
Gracie, I've got a TL for you. I'm not going to use that lawyer. I'm going to defend my own case. Everything happens to me.
Mr. Burns.
What is it, Mr. Soundman?
Nothing happens to you. A famous psychologist once took 2 newborn babies, of which I was one, brought me up scientifically, and allowed the other baby to follow his natural inclinations without any restraining influences. While I was learning Greek, ornithology, higher mathematics, and diction, the other boy played marbles, cops, and robbers, and spoke through the side of his mouth. That was many years ago. We're both men now. His name is James Cagney, making $10,000 a week, and this is what I do for a living.
Don't be so envious, Soundman. After all, what's James Cagney got? All day long, he sits in the stuffy studio under those hot lights, kissing Ann Sheridan. Should happen to me. How can I be so witty with a lawsuit staring me in the face?
You know, that's cute about James Cagney, but I know another success story. It's about a girl who was very poor. Then one day, out of the clear blue sky, her whole life changed, and now she's going to have all the money she needs to buy all the nice things that she dreamed about.
Oh, that's a wonderful story, Gracie. Who's the girl?
Her name is Elsie Tralifass.
Elsie Tralifass? Come on. Come, everybody. Let's get into the car. We never get to the court. Smoothies. Take it. Well, Gracie, we'll reach the courthouse in 2 minutes. Is everything clear in your mind?
Yeah, except one thing.
What's that?
What's the character witness?
Gracie, look. If you were on trial and I'd get up in court and say that you're intelligent, considerate, and a conscientious girl, a person who has a keen sense of responsibility, whose brilliance is matched only by her beauty, why would I say that?
Because you're under oath and you've got to tell the truth.
I don't know. I think I'm going out of my mind.
Hey, look out for that car, George.
What car?
That one.
Gee, George, that was your fault. The man's getting out of his car.
I know, but leave it to me, Artie. I'll just start hollering and scare him to death. Hey, mister.
He looks half your size.
Hey, dope.
He's standing up now. Look, he's twice your size.
Now, listen, chum.
Now, listen here, you. You drivers like you shouldn't be allowed on the street, driving through a safety zone. Don't you know the traffic rules? Do you know what the single white line is for?
Yeah, that's for trucks to follow.
What's the double white line for?
That's for pleasure cars to follow.
What are the zigzag lines for?
That's what the Los Angeles drivers follow.
Evidently, you don't know how to drive a car.
My dear senor, he don't know how to drive a car?
No.
Don't be ridiculous.
You mean ridiculous. Come on, I'm in a hurry. Out of my way. Hold on, everybody. I'm going to step on it.
Hey, George, when you started the car, you bumped into him.
Yeah, and he's got your license number.
He has?
Yeah, on the seat of his pants.
Oh, I can't understand it. My case was supposed to have started a half an hour ago, and the judge isn't here yet. Hey, bailiff, what happened to the judge?
He's back there ranting and raving. I've never seen him so mad.
How do you like that? I'm being sued for $200,000, and he's mad. What happened?
Well, on his way to the courthouse, some crazy driver ran into him.
This is a fine thing. Some dopey driver running into... Oh...
George fainted.
Well, what's the matter with him?
Well, he's suffering from a run-down condition.
He's run down?
No, the judge was.
Oh, what happened? Now I remember. My case. The accident. The judge. Say, bailiff, don't tell me he's the judge who's sitting today.
Yes, he's on the bench.
He may be on the bench, but I'll bet he's not sitting.
Yeah, he's probably sore about something, if you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean. Look, I can't appear before this judge. As soon as he sees me, I'm a dead duck.
Well, George, why don't you just comb your hair in front of your eyes? Then he won't recognize you.
Senor Burns, nothing would help you with that thick head of hair.
Leave my hair out of it.
All right, nothing will help you with that thick head.
Here's an idea. Why don't you comb your eyebrows down over your face?
Comb my eyebrows down over my face? That's silly. Who'll the judge think I am?
John L. Lewis.
John L. Lewis? Oh, a Labor Day joke. I see what
you mean. Everybody rise. Court now in session. His Honor Judge Hammer presiding. First case in the docket, breach of contract suit. Elsie Tralafast versus George Nathaniel Burns, alias Poopsie.
Are both sides ready?
Plaintiff is ready. I represent Elsie Tralafast, Your Honor.
George, you better cover up your face. If the judge finds out who you are, you'll lose the case.
If he covers up his face, it'll be even worse.
What do you mean?
He'll get him for concealing a deadly weapon.
I know what I'll do. I'll just hold my head down.
Come. Now, you're wasting the court's time. Will the defense speak up?
Well, Your Honor, I'm George Burns, and I'm defending my own case.
Young man, when you speak to me, stand up straight and look straight at me.
Well, Your Honor, I'm down here tying my shoelace.
Oh, never do that, young man. This morning I bent down to tie a shoelace, and a car hit me right in the safety zone.
Well, that's life, I guess.
Why, the fellow who was driving that car must have been blind.
Blind? He hit you, didn't he?
Quiet, Gracie.
Well, George, I'm not going to let anybody say you're blind and get away with it.
Gracie,
I think he's got a
the
lot
whole thing.
Aha! Turn around, young man. So you're the fellow who hit me in the safety zone.
That's George. Cold or hot, he hits the spot.
Gracie, please. You see, it wasn't my car, Your Honor. It was the car that resembled my car.
Oh, maybe the judge was struck by the resemblance.
You see, Your Honor, what...
Silence. Miss Tralafast, so this is the man you're suing.
That's right, Your Honor.
Oh. Well, let's get on with the case. And you're suing him for $300,000.
No, Your Honor, $200,000.
Such a small sum.
Your Honor, you're not going to let a little thing like being hit in the safety zone affect my case.
Mr. Burns, this is a court of law. What transpires between myself and yourself will absolutely have no bearing on the case whatsoever. I assure you, you will have a fair, unbiased, impartial trial.
Senor Judge, you cannot do that to Senor Burns. A finer man shouldn't leave.
Stop helping me, Senor Lee.
Take it easy, Senor Burns. You'll strain your tinsels.
Tinsels? Hey. You mean tonsils? Tinsel is something that's covered with guilt.
You're innocent?
Gracie, I can see I haven't got a leg to stand on.
Just leave it to me.
Look, Gracie, will you stay
Now,
out of it?
I want to testify for George Burns.
Oh. Are you prepared to say that George Burns is innocent?
Yes. I never told a lie in my life, and all I want is a chance.
Gracie, will you come back here and...
Silence! Let's get on with this trial. The case for Elsie Tralafast versus George Poopsie Burns.
Will the jury stand up and call out their names?
Joe Trollopas. Tom Trollopas. Al Trollopas.
Billy Trollopas.
Aaron Trollopas.
Junior Trollopas.
Arthur Trollopas.
And Clarence Trollopas.
But that's only 11. You there in the corner. What's your name?
Willie Barnes.
So, Poopsie, you're trying to fix the jury, eh?
Now, listen, Judge, I don't...
Silence! Quiet, or I'll have you fined $100 for contempt of court.
$100? That doesn't begin to show your contempt for this court, does it, George?
I see. Will you stop? Mr. Burns, is it true that you took Elsie Trollopas to the beach and played piggyback with her?
Well, nobody.
Put her on the radio? You did? Next witness. But, Your Honor, I now... Silence! What a trial.
Programs, get your programs. Can't tell the judge from the criminal without a program.
I object.
Who are you?
Artie Shaw.
And what are you objecting to?
I haven't had a line for 10 minutes.
Your Honor, I'll prove my innocence. Gracie, will you take a stand?
All right.
Now, what's your name?
Gracie L. Allen.
What's the L for?
Oh, please, George, watch your language.
Where were you born?
San Francisco.
Before the fire?
On the back of the piano.
Listen, Gracie.
You know what my father said when I was born?
I object.
You guessed it.
Now, will you tell the court, Miss Allen, have I ever promised Elsie Trollopas to make her my partner and put her on the radio?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what?
I don't remember what you told me to say.
But did I ever promise to put Elsie Trollopas on the radio?
I don't know.
Artie, did I promise to put Elsie Trollopas on the radio?
I don't know.
Canada Dry pays out $10 in the set of the encyclopedias to Mrs. Baltimore who sent in that question.
Isn't there anybody in this court who can say one nice word about me?
Mr. Burns, if you'll allow a sound man.
Well, with pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, opposing counsel and Your Honor.
Well, now you'll hear some stuff.
You cannot try Mr. Burns as you would an ordinary layman. Actors are different from most people, and therefore they cannot be adjudged by the same standards.
And what makes you think Mr. Burns is an actor?
Your Honor, every performer has something that endears him to the public.
Oh, he wouldn't know that, you see.
Eddie Cantor makes people laugh with his pop eyes.
I've got some stuff, too.
Charlie Chaplin gets laughs with his wistful look.
That's right.
Fred Allen gets laughs with his nasal twang.
And what does Mr. Burns have that makes people laugh?
Gracie Allen.
Well, this is fine. If I had my... Silence! Oh. Gentlemen of the jury, you have heard all the evidence. All the evidence? I object, Your Honor. I have something to say that will prove my complete innocence. And then... Out of order! Silence! Gentlemen of the jury, you have heard all the evidence in this case. I want you to go to the jury room now and weigh each bit of testimony very, very carefully and come back with an impartial verdict of guilty. Help! I'm being framed!
Thanks, Judge.
That's all right, Mrs. Trollopas. I'll see you again tonight.
Oh, well, just a minute. Now, before this thing goes too far, I want to warn Elsie Trollopas right now that if she doesn't drop this lawsuit against George Burns, I'll tell all about her being out with Johnny Hyde.
Oh, no, not that. I'll practice and pay all the costs, but please don't tell them about Johnny Hyde.
You, my client, you knew Johnny Hyde?
She knew Johnny Hyde?
She knew Johnny Hyde.
She was out with Johnny Hyde. Johnny Hyde. She knew Johnny Hyde?
She knew Johnny Hyde.
Johnny Hyde. Johnny Hyde. Johnny Hyde.
The George Burns acquitted.
Everybody for Elsie Trollopas brought suit. Admits knowing Johnny Hyde.
I see you were simply marvelous. You saved me $200,000, and I certainly appreciate it. But there's one thing I'd like to know.
What's that?
Who's Johnny Hyde?
Who's Johnny Hyde?
Yes.
Who's Johnny Hyde? Who's Johnny Hyde?
Well, who is he?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, Gracie, say goodnight.
Good night.
Well, come on, I'll take you home.
Oh, George, I can't. I've just had a summons.
A summons?
Oh, Gracie!
Coming, Judgy Wudgy. I'll be right there. Good night, George.
Good night, folks.
From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen. Artie Shaw and his orchestra. For singing glee, we're the Smoothies Three. Last but not least, with Bud Heaston.
And here they are, George and Gracie.
Well, thank you very much. Am I happy tonight?
Oh, you should be, George, winning that $200,000 breach of contract suit against Elsie Trellifath.
And boy, did I celebrate.
Say, you know that judge took me home after the trial, and he tried to kiss me, but I wouldn't let him.
Try to kiss you?
Yeah, he must be a pretty good lawyer.
What makes you think so?
Well, all evening he kept trying to break my will.
Gracie, that happens to be a very fine judge. Did you know that he's greatly feared on the bench?
Well, I don't know about the bench, but he certainly scared the life out of me in the rumble seat.
Anyway, I'm very happy that the case is over, and let's forget it.
Yes, George, it must be quite an ordeal to have the arm of the law after you.
Oh, that's nothing. I had it around me.
What a feeling that was, to get to a court and find out the man I hit with a car is the judge who was trying my case. And as soon as I saw him, I got 5 years older.
Oh, good, George. Now you can start collecting your Social Security.
Nice going, Bud.
Oh, thank you. Well, running into the judge was nothing to worry about, though. It was just a little accident.
Nothing to worry about. Do you know what you can get in Los Angeles for hitting a pedestrian?
Yeah, a driver's license.
Well, anyway, I want to thank you all for being my character witnesses.
Saben que yo estoy muy orgulloso del señor Burns
Yes,
por la
yes,
manera
I get it. Fine. Artie, what's Senor Lee saying?
He was proud of you at the trial when you took the offensive.
Oh, well, thanks, Senor Lee.
In fact, he says you were the most offensive man in the whole courtroom.
That's right.
If that Artie Shaw doesn't keep that guitar player quiet, he's going to find a pink slip in his envelope.
George, I don't think Artie Shaw wears a pink slip.
Of course he doesn't wear a pink slip.
I know something that you don't know.
Artie, what's the matter with that Senor Lee?
Well, he's unhappy about his job.
Well, if he's unhappy on Saturday night, why don't you give him a little extra?
A little extra wouldn't make him happy. I mean.
Well, your little red-headed extra from Paramount would.
Gracie, that's only a platonic friendship.
Should happen to me.
Senor Shaw, why don't you introduce me to her? She's very cuticle.
Cuticle? Hey, Don Juan, let me give you a little bit of advice. Women are slow poison.
I'm in a hurry.
Did you know that I had less trouble in court last week than I'm having here? Oh, stop with that $200,000. Gracie, you know I haven't got that kind of money.
Oh, what about your salary each week?
What about your hat? What are you laughing at?
I don't get it.
Why does everybody pick on me? Am I always going to be a fall guy? Am I such an awful dope? Am I ever going to mean anything on this program?
Is he? Tune in next week and find out.
Oh, quiet. Well, I'm going down to write out that check for $25 for court expenses, which will clear up that Elsie Trellifath case once and for all.
Don't pay it.
Don't pay it?
No.
Today is the last day, and if I don't pay it, I'll be sued for contempt of court.
My friend Bill Advire will fix it for you. Don't pay it.
Bill Advire?
Yes.
Who's he? Probably some small-time fixer.
Small time? He only happens to be on the crime commission.
The crime commission?
Sure. Every time there's a crime, he gets a commission.
But look, Gracie, it's only $25.
Don't pay it. Miller will fix it for you. I'll phone him.
Well, what can I do?
Oh, let me see now. Where can he be? Oh, yes. Operator, give me the Cotton Club, New York City.
New York City?
Hello? Cotton Club? Is Miller Dyer there? Oh. That's swell. That's good. That's wonderful. wonderful.
Gracie, this is costing a fortune. Is Millard Byer there?
No, that's grand.
Wait a minute.
That's marvelous.
What's grand? What's marvelous?
The music of the Cotton Club. Want to listen to it? It's swell.
Give me that phone. Give me
And he can do the same thing for you, George. So if you take
Gracie,
my
I don't
advice...
want to hear any more about Millard Byer. That last call cost me $19. I've got to pay this $25 court expenses. Today is the last day, so stay out of it. Now, wait a minute, Gracie. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I know you were trying to help me. Oh, forgive me, Gracie. Now I feel awful. I feel like a skunk, a scoundrel, a rat. Gracie, will you please forgive me?
I'm not crying about that.
No? What are you crying about?
Did you see that picture, Rebecca?
That was very sad, but will you stop crying? I still haven't sent the check.
George, before you do that, let me make one more tiny little phone call to Millard.
Well, all right, but no New York.
No. No, please. Get me Gladstone 1131.
That's better.
Montreal.
Montreal?
Montreal, Canada speaking. I want to speak to Millard Byer. How do you spell the first name? With difficulty. Did you say Hillard Byer? What? Did you say Hillard Byer? No, Millard Byer. M as in Millard, I as in Millard, L as in Millard, A as in Millard, R as in Millard, and D as in Dave. Here's your coffee.
Hello, Dave speaking.
Dave? How do you spell it?
D is in Dave, A is in Dave, V is in Dave, E is in Elmer.
Hello, Elmer.
Hello, Dave.
What's going on here?
Where's Millard?
Take it easy.
He's out with Slavko Vorka pitch.
How do you spell it?
S is in Dave, L is in
Look, will you hang up? Hang up!
That call will be $152. Charges to George Burns.
$152. Give me that phone.
Who's this?
This is George Burns.
George Burns of the radio?
Yes, George Burns of the radio.
I never miss you.
You don't miss me?
I don't hear you and I don't miss you.
Thanks. Gracie, so far it cost me $171 to save $25, and I just...
George, I just thought of something. You saved $200,000 in that Elsie Tralafast case, and if you'd like to go into business with me...
Look, I don't want to go into any business. I'd like to pay my court costs. Today is the last day.
George, you better go into some business, because the way the income tax is today...
What do you know about income tax? What is income tax?
Well...
Yeah, what is it?
The way it works is the government takes your salary.
Yes.
That's it. The government takes your salary.
You said it.
George, you don't have to invest all that $200,000.
I've got $200,000? Who believes that? You know, I spend a few dollars.
Who believes that?
It costs me $50,000 a year to live.
It isn't worth it.
It is worth it.
Who believes that?
Look, will you people stop worrying about me?
Senor Burns?
I've got my own troubles, you know.
Senor Burns?
I've got to send that check back.
Hey, Poopsie!
Stop calling me Poopsie. What is it?
Senor Burns, if you want to go into business, why don't you buy a string of racehorses like Bang Crosby?
It's not Bang, it's Bing.
Bang.
Bing.
Bang.
Bing.
Bang.
Bing.
It's 4th of July?
Anyway, racehorses are not Crosby's business. That's his hobby, horses.
And they run like hobby horses.
Now stop. I've had enough of this. I've got to make out that check for $25. Today is the last day.
But, George...
I don't want to be helped anymore. Gracie's silly phone calls they've already cost me $171.
320.
320?
I did it again.
You did it again?
Honolulu.
You called Honolulu?
Millard Byer wasn't there.
And what cost all that money?
Well, I spoke to a hula dancer, and you know what gossips they are.
Hula dancers are gossips?
I never saw such busybodies.
Gracie, I owed the court a few dollars, which I was very happy to pay. And now I owe the phone company $320.
480.
480?
I'm going to do it again.
You're going to do it again?
Give me the phone.
Get away from that phone. Get away from that phone. Gracie, get away from that phone. Now, man, will you open the door?
4 years in Harvard, and this is what I do for a living.
Everything happens to me.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Don't you remember me? I'm your brother Willie.
Oh, sure I remember you. I'll send you the $20 at the end of the week.
Well, I thought maybe if I made up a joke, you'd make it 30.
Willie, look, will you go home? Go home.
I have a very funny joke. Have you got a sleeping tablet?
What, you got a headache?
No, that's not the joke. You're just supposed to say why, and then you hear some stuff.
Well, all right. Why do you want a sleeping tablet?
I've got a date with a dream. No?
No.
Don't forget to send me the 20.
Okay, goodbye.
By the way, Goldie's little boy got a gold star for being a monitor.
That makes me very happy. Goodbye. Look, sound man, the roof of the building will cave in with those door slams. You know, there are worse jobs than being a sound man.
Mr. Burns, my friends will be very glad to hear that.
Good.
You see, one of them wrote a treatise on technocracy. Another one discovered the new element formalin. Another one of them won the Phillips Prize for chemical research. And they've all invited me to the annual outing of our honorary society.
And I suppose they're ashamed of you being a sound man.
They are.
Then why did they ask you along to the outing?
I am the only one who has a car.
I better write out that check before it's too late, or else... Where's Gracie?
I'm here.
Gracie, are you still on the phone?
Please, please. Hello? What? What's that you say? That the fire isn't there?
Gracie, why are you speaking so loud?
Well, you gotta talk loud when you talk to Egypt.
Egypt? Doesn't the Millard buyer ever go to Pomona or Long Beach?
Sorry, Millard Buyer isn't here. He left for the West Indies. Have you tried Bahamas?
Yes, I've tried Bahamas. They're very uncomfortable to sleep in, don't you think so?
Oh, that's an extra $20 that blow on the phone. Gracie, this is costing me a fortune. Will you hang up?
That will be $700 for 3 minutes.
Charge it to George Burns.
$700. I won't pay it.
George Burns won't pay that money. He says it's an outrage. He says you've got a lot of nerve, and where do you get that stuff?
You just spoke another minute. It's $900.
$900? Give me that phone. Operator, it's bad enough to charge $700 for 3 minutes without charging an extra $200 for a minute of explanation. You can't charge $900.
You just spoke another minute. It's $1,100.
$1,100?
You give me that phone.
No, you don't. $1,600 to save $25. What a phone bill.
You don't have to pay it.
What do you mean I don't have to pay it?
Well, I know somebody who can fix it. Operator, give me Newfoundland.
Get away from that telephone. Get away from it. Well, that was Artie Shaw, his clarinet and orchestra playing Begin the Beguine. You know, it was Begin the Beguine that made Artie Shaw, and it was Artie Shaw that made Begin the Beguine. Of course, that was back in 1937 when Begin the Beguine began.
Thanks, George. Now can I pass the plate?
What plate?
The one that's loose in your mouth.
My brother Willie must have made up that joke.
Operator, are you sure Millard Buyer isn't there?
Gracie, are you still on the telephone?
Please, George. Operator, have you tried his igloo?
Igloo? That's in Alaska.
Well, sure. It doesn't cost $700 to call Glendale.
$700? Give me that phone.
George, while you've got some money left, you'd better go into business with me before it's too late.
Look, in the first place, Bud, I'm not going into business with you. Fine thing. To save $25, I now owe the phone company $3,200.
$3,700.
$3,200.
$3,700.
$3,200.
I know something that you don't know.
You did it again.
Tahiti.
Tahiti?
I phoned during a hurricane.
Mildred Buyer wasn't there.
Neither was Tahiti.
Gracie, some dark night when nobody is looking...
George, you don't have to worry anymore.
I don't.
Now, I'm not going to make any more phone calls.
Oh, well, at last.
I told the long-distance operator to spare no expense and for her to locate Millard Buyer.
I see. That's much better. Look, Gracie, some dark night when nobody is looking.
Hello?
South Africa calling. We have information concerning Millard Buyer. $500. Collect.
Charge it to George Burns.
I'm nicely going bankrupt.
Copycat.
Quiet.
Here's your party.
Thanks.
Hello, America. Stanley speaking.
Have you found Millard Buyer?
Millard Buyer? I'm still looking for Dr. Livingston. Goodbye.
Well, it cost me $500 to find out that Stanley is still looking for Livingston. Come in.
Mr. Burns?
That's right.
I'm from the sheriff's office. I have a warrant for you for failure to pay your court expenses.
Court expenses? You mean the $25 I've been trying to pay all evening? Well, here it is.
I'm sorry, brother, but it's too late now.
But, mister, I always pay my bills on time, don't I, Artie?
That's right, mister. He always pays my salary on time.
You see?
50 cents down and the rest on time.
Now, look,
I'm sorry. I'll have to take this warrant. It's Judge Hamill's orders.
Judge Hamill, that old fogey...
Just a moment. Judge Hamill is the best judge in this county.
Next best.
What do you mean, next best?
Of all the judges in the county, he next best.
Well, mister, I'm not going to take this warrant because I had every intention of paying the $25.
Senor Spirit, don't worry. Senor Burns has an honest face.
Really?
Honest, that's a face.
Now, look, I'm not going to take that warrant.
Well, you'll have to.
Well, give it to me.
Gracie, you can't tear that up.
We certainly can.
Tearing a warrant, eh? Well, mister, you'll be fined $1,000 for contempt of court.
Oh, yeah? Well, George knows Millard Byer who can fix it for him.
Someone who can fix it, eh? Well, that's bribery. That'll cost you another $1,000.
I didn't say anyone was going to fix it for me.
Now, denying it, eh? Well, that's perjury. That'll cost you another $1,000.
Now, wait a minute. Did you ever hear of me? I happen to be George Burns of the radio, and I get $5,000 a week.
For what?
For being a comedian.
Taking money under false pretense. And now you are in trouble. I'll see you in court.
Well, Gracie, I can thank you for all of this.
Oh, it was nothing. I'd do it for anybody.
Instead of paying $25, I wind up paying $25,000.
Hello?
This is Zanzibar calling.
Zanzibar?
Is the Millard Byer there?
No, he left last week for Mandalay.
Mandalay? Where's Mandalay?
There the dawn comes up like thunder out of China across the beach.
George, it's a George Burns.
Give me that phone. And I don't want any more phone calls. Don't touch that phone.
Oh, it might be Millard Byer.
I don't care. Don't touch that phone. Well, never mind. Just say I'm not in.
Hello? What? Who? George Burns? Oh, I'm sorry. He's not here. Goodbye. Oh, you should have answered it.
Who was it, Millard Byer?
No, it was a Pot of Gold program.
The Pot of Gold? Well, Gracie, say goodnight.
Good night. Judge, are you going home?
No, I'm good and sore. $25,000 for phone calls.
Mr. Burns, you've got no reason to be sore. You had a swell show tonight. I watched it from the first row.
Well, who are you?
I'm Millard Byer.
Good night, folks. Good night.
From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen. Artie Shaw and his orchestra. For singing glee, we're the Smoothies three. Last but not least, and with Bud Easton.
Don't look now, folks, but here they are, George and Gracie.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, George, here it is, September.
Yes, Gracie, and the summer is practically over.
Leaves are beginning to fall. It's starting to get cold.
Squirrels are beginning to gather nuts.
I'm staying indoors from now on.
In 9 weeks, it'll be Thanksgiving.
In 10 weeks, it'll be Thanksgiving again.
Picture stars have stopped taking sunbaths.
Tourists are leaving town.
Dorothy Lamore's taking off her sarong.
Tourists are coming back again.
Pretty soon, the rest of the country will be snowed in, but California will be sending oranges to Florida, grapefruit to Illinois.
Raspberries to Florida.
Oh, yes, I certainly killed that joke. Oranges to New York. Yes. Well, that ought to take care of the fall weather.
que el clima de California es una cosa preciosa. A mí me gusta mucho.
Oh, yes, in spades. What is that, Senor Lee?
In weather like this, I always go into the Brown Derby and order myself a nice glass of gold milk.
Gold milk?
Hey.
You mean cold milk?
The prices they charge, it must be gold.
For your information, that milk traveled 3,000 miles to get here.
So I had to pay the taxi fare?
Well, this is fine. Now the Brown Derby will take my picture off the wall.
Oh, they won't go back into the kitchen just for that.
By the way, George, I saw Jack Benny and Mary Livingston at the Derby last week, and Jack invited me to sit down and have dinner.
Really, Artie?
Yeah, Mary ordered a steak, and I had a roast pheasant.
What was Jack eating?
His heart out.
Stop kidding about Jack Benny being cheap. He worked very hard for his money. He's been on the radio for 10 years, and he finally came out on top.
Yeah, by the handful.
Well, now it's time for the smoothies, Charlie, Babs, and Little. Kids, what are you going to sing tonight?
It's a song about two comedians talking to each other.
What's the name of it?
Trade wins.
I don't get it.
Oh, George, I knew I had something to tell you. Somebody suggested that with the fall program coming back on the air, you should get the jump on everybody by getting a guest star.
My dear Bud, whoever told you that could not have been listening to our program.
The sponsor suggested it.
And furthermore, Bud, the sponsor?
Yeah, sponsor.
There must be a mistake. See, all the programs I've been on, they brought in guest stars only when the program needed help. The weaker the program, the bigger the guest star they needed.
The sponsor wants you to get Clark Gable.
What does he want with Clark Gable? I can't understand that.
You can't understand what, Judge?
Gable is a movie actor. He's only been on the radio for about 4 times. I've been on the radio for 12 years.
I can't understand that either.
Guest star. Artie, do you think I need to get any help?
All I know, George, is that for years my family would gather around the radio whenever you were on. And they would sit by that radio until the program was over.
Thanks, Artie.
And then they'd turn it on.
Clark Gable is a guest star. Take away his looks and his personality, and what have you got?
George Burns.
Gracie.
Mr. Burns.
What does it sound, man?
If you're thinking of getting a guest star, why not give me the opportunity? I used to be a great Shakespearean actor.
Really?
Yes, for years I toured the country in various Shakespearean roles.
Look, there's something I always wanted to know. In the play Hamlet, was there really a love affair between Hamlet and Ophelia?
In the company I was in, there was.
Well, anyway, I don't need a guest star. Sponsor or no sponsor.
Hello? Spam program.
I'm not getting a guest star.
Who?
I'm the boss of this program. And when I say something, I mean it.
George.
I wouldn't get a guest star if you paid me for a
Hey,
fortune.
Poopsie!
Quiet with that Poopsie.
The sponsor on the phone.
The sponsor? Oh, hello? Yeah, this is George Burns. Yeah? What? What? Yeah, but that shows that the male star of the program is weak. Yeah, but that shows... Yeah, but that... Yeah, but...
Sounds like Yebbet and Costello.
Yeah, but... Well, all right, I'll get Clark Gable and Lionel Barrymore, but Ronald Coleman we don't need. Yeah, but... Well, I don't know whether I can get them. They cost a lot of money. Oh, you want me to call you back? Oh, you're at a board meeting discussing my option? Oh, certainly I'll get them. You wouldn't want me to get Mickey Rooney, too? Oh, later, huh? Well, goodbye, sir. And I'll spare no expanse. Spams. That's a joke. Oh, he hung up. Well, that makes us one happy little family. Lionel Barrymore, Ronald Coleman, and Clark Gable. How do you get men like that?
Oh, it's easy. I just drop my handkerchief and they pick it up and I say, "How to?"
Oh, stop.
I'll say that later.
Gracie, they're discussing our option. We've got to do something.
Well, George, why don't you get an impersonator who can imitate those stars?
Hey, that's a great idea.
And I know just the fellow. He's a great mimic.
A mimic?
Yes.
You mean mimic?
No, a mimic. He imitates Al Jolson.
I suppose if he could imitate Papa Dion, he'd be a puppet.
Now, then he'd be a panic.
A panic? Gracie, you may not know it, but getting an impersonator was a great idea. Well, Bud, we're all set. I just hired a great mimic.
Well, can he do Gable?
He can do anybody. In fact, Gracie is downstairs now, and she's getting a script at Boomtown.
George, I just got it. Here's the script.
Did you get the radio senses okay?
Yes, except for a few minor changes.
Good. Now, will everybody get around me, and I'll read the play. Now, the first scene takes place in a thriving oil town, and there's a lot of hustle and bustle.
George, the censor says you can't say that on the radio.
Say what?
Bustle.
All right, the bustle is out.
Where else can it be?
Well, in this little town, there's an oil well right in the middle of the street. Now, some careless man leaves a few sacks of TNT lying at an angle.
Can't do it.
Why not?
You've got to leave out the sacks angle.
All right, somebody left some TNT.
George, you're not going to say TNT.
Why not?
Brother, that's dynamite.
Some careless man drops a match. Is that better? And sets the oil well on fire. And at that moment, the hero is entering the town saloon, and he's just about to step in.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't mention stepping.
Well, I'm sorry. It was just a slip.
Can't mention slip.
Can't, huh?
That comes under the ban.
Underwear?
Can't do it.
Can't do what?
Can't mention underwear.
All right, forget the underwear.
That's even worse.
I suppose to do this play, I'll have to get an okay from the Secretary of the Interior.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
It's icky.
Well, this is fine. If I can't do this play tonight, I'll probably wind up without a job and walking around on my bare feet.
You cannot do that.
Why not?
Too corny.
Well, quiet, everybody. We're going to do Boomtown. If it was good enough for the movies, it's good enough for the radio. I don't want any more interruptions. Oh, that's probably the impersonator. Sound man, open the door.
You can't say that on the radio.
Why not?
This door is made of wood. Wood is made of pine. Pine is knotty, and you can't say knotty words on the radio.
Sound man, open the door.
Hello, Mr. Burns.
Oh, this is Peter Lynn Hayes, everybody. Hello, Peter.
Hey, listen, I'm sure glad to get this job, Mr. Burns. I haven't worked for about 6 months. I haven't eaten since last week, and you don't happen to have a sandwich on you.
Later, Peter. We're broadcasting now, you see.
Gee, I haven't had a bite since Thursday.
George, shall I buy them?
Quiet. Look, say, Peter, it's very important that you do these impersonations perfectly. I want Lionel Barrymore, Ronald Coleman, and Clark Gable.
No, but I can't do Gable.
You can't do Gable? You can't do Gable? Well, now I'm in a terrible mess. Here, well, you can take the script anyway.
Have you got a knife and fork?
Look, don't eat it, just read it. Bud, will you get the sponsor on the phone?
George, what are you going to say to him if he can't do Gable?
Well, I'll suggest Gary Cooper. I'll suggest Charles Lawton. I'll suggest Georgie Rabb.
Can't do that on the radio.
Why not?
Too suggestive.
Bud, will you get the sponsor?
Okay.
Senor Burns, if you want a good mimic, I'm just the man you're looking at.
You're a good mimic?
I'm positive, I think. I do a very fine impersonation of a cockney.
A cockney?
Listen, put up your hands and reach for the ceiling, you mug.
What kind of a cockney is that?
James Cockney.
Oh, quiet.
Here's the sponsor, George. I've got him on the phone.
Oh, hello? Well, I finally did it. I got Ronald Coleman, I got Lionel Barrymore, and I got a big surprise for you. Instead of Gable, I got Charles Lawton and... Yeah, but... Oh, you're going back into the board meeting to discuss the option? Oh, sure, I'll get Gable for you. Yes, if I say I'll get him, I'll get him. What do you think I am? Oh. Goodbye. Gracie, what do you think the sponsor said to me?
You can't say that on the radio.
You said it.
Now for our play.
But, Gracie, we haven't got Gable.
I've got it all fixed.
Starring Lionel Barrymore, Ronald Coleman, and Clark Gable.
Entitled It Can't Happen Here.
George, that's not the name of it. The title is The Great Appendicitis Operation, or A Scar is Born.
The scar? Gracie, what about gay?
Leave it to me.
As the play opens, we find Dr. Kildare and Nurse Allen in the operating room. The doctor is performing a very delicate operation. It's a very tense moment.
Nurse, forceps. Scalpel. Needle. Well, there you are. Perfect job.
Oh, thanks, Doctor. And now sew up the hole in my other stocking.
Enough of that. Where's Dr. Lionel Barrymore?
Quarreling with his brother John Barrymore about a face operation.
Well, of course, there are two sides to everything.
Except John's face.
Nurse Allen, look, I've got my own troubles.
Oh, please, Doctor, not so loud. You're disturbing the patient in 414.
414?
Mm-hmm.
What patient?
The one who has a temperature of 109.
A temperature of 109?
Yes.
How can he live?
Oh, he gets an allowance from his folks.
Temperature of 109 is very dangerous. What did you do with him?
Well, I put him to bed with that patient who's got the chills.
Well, I better go up and see him.
Nobody's allowed in 414.
Gracie, what about Abel Gay?
I've got it all fixed.
You have, huh?
Look, here comes Dr. Lionel Barrymore.
Well, I hope you got it fixed. Oh, hello, Dr. Lionel Barrymore.
Yes, son. Who said you knew anything about medicine? I left positive instructions that little Billy should be kept on a strict diet. And he's brought into surgery with a hamburger sandwich clutched in his hand.
Well, I'm awfully sorry, Doctor.
Well, you should be. So I placed this little tyke on the operating table, and I administered the anesthesia myself. And I stood there looking at him. I stood gazing at that poor face until those tired little eyes finally closed.
Well, Doctor, what did you do?
What do you think I did? I ate the hamburger.
Still hungry, huh? I wonder where I can find Dr. Ronald Coleman.
Please, Doctor, you're disturbing the patient in 414.
Who is that patient in 414?
The one who's got appendicitis.
Well, then I must operate.
Oh, no, his wife won't let you.
Why not?
Well, she says she won't have anybody else opening her mail.
Gracie, what about Abel Gay?
Don't worry. Dr. Kildare, go to surgery G. Dr. Kildare, go to surgery G.
I can't go to G.
Then go to H.
What kind of a hospital is this anyway?
Please, Doctor, you're disturbing the patient in 414.
Will you forget that man in 414?
But, Doctor, he's got chills.
Did you shake all over?
No, only in 414.
Gracie, did you fix that clock on the wall? I'm not Gable to tell the time.
It's all fixed.
As if I hope so. Hello?
Hello, this is Dr. Shaw.
Yes, Dr. Shaw.
They just brought in a patient wearing a white sweater. Send stretcher at once.
What do you want the stretcher for?
The sweater doesn't fit me.
Some doctor.
Dr. Kildare?
Yes, what is it, Senor Lee?
Operate quick, doctor. A piece of cinder fleed me in the eye.
It fleed you in the eye?
Please.
You mean it flew in your eye?
Fleed.
Flew? Look, what comes after flies?
Flit.
Nurse Allen, will you go out and look for Dr. Coleman?
Please, Doctor, you're disturbing the patient in 414.
Who is this fellow in 414? How did he get in here without me seeing him?
Well, he was an accident case. He fell off an ironing board.
A ironing board?
He was pressing his pants and he forgot to take them off.
Look, Gracie, if we don't get...
We got.
When?
Later.
I hope.
Dr. Kildare.
Yes, Dr. Heaston.
I just got a telephone call from New York that might interest you. This person said there's nothing better for a person who expects a nervous breakdown than a good dish of mongoose.
Raw mongoose?
No, it's cooked.
Who said mongoose is cooked?
The sponsor if you don't get Gable.
Gracie.
Don't worry. Here comes Dr. Coleman now.
Well, Dr. Ronald Coleman.
My dear Dr. Kildare, it's an honor and a pleasure to be a visiting surgeon in your great hospital. I've devoted my entire life to medicine. As a medical man, you know I'm speaking the truth when saying the reward we seek is not material. I don't want glory. I don't want fame. I just want one thing for my work.
Well, what is it you want?
You don't happen to have a sandwich?
No.
You mean sandwich.
Quiet. This is going far enough.
Oh, please, Doctor, you're disturbing the patient in
Oh,
414.
stop with that 414.
George, the sponsor is on the phone again.
Oh, well, good night. Hello. I know. Yes, I know. Well, I tried and I did my best and...
Give me that phone. Hello? This is Gracie Allen speaking. What? What? We haven't got Clark Gable. We haven't got Clark Gable. Huh. Who do you think that fellow is in 414?
Well, that's all I want to know. Well, Gracie, say good night.
Good night.
And, Peter, I want to thank you for those grand impersonations. But how come that you couldn't do Clark Gable?
Oh, that would be a very tedious job. In order to do a fellow like Clark Gable, I'd have to stay close to him for about 7 weeks.
Should happen to me.
Good night, all.